What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are well. What's good? What's good, guys? What's good? I hope you guys are well. What's going on? What's good? What's good? What is good? Let's get you guys in the live stream. What's good, peeps? Hope you guys are well. What's going on? What's going on? Got a lot to talk about. Got a lot to talk about. I haven't done a live for a while, so I thought I'd jump on and let's get this live started. Thought I'd love to speak to you guys about the fights that we've had last couple of weeks. Let me just go and get the light on. What's good, people? What is good? Where are you guys? I'm waiting for you guys to get in. Where are you guys? Get this party started, man. Get this party started. Yeah. What's good, peeps? What is good? Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Let's wait. Let's wait for this thing to kick in, and then we'll get started. Guys, where you at? Where you at? Waiting for you guys to get in the house. Where's everyone gone? No one's in the house. No one's in the house. Wow. No one's in the house. No one wants to be in the live stream. What's going on? What is going on? What is going on, guys? Where are you guys at? Where are you guys at? What's good, people? What's good? Get your questions in, man. Get your questions in. I'm waiting for you guys to get your questions in. Where is everyone? Where is everyone? Yesterday we had Benavidez knock out David Lemieux. I want to get talking about it, but where are you guys? Where are you guys? Where are you guys not dropping in drabs? What's going on? Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Let's get your questions in, peeps. 3 minutes gone and only 3 of you in the stream. What's going off? What is going off here? I don't know. It's never been like this before. What's going off? Waiting for you guys to get in the house, man. It's taking the piece. What's going on, AB? What's good? I hope you're good. I hope you're good. I hope everything's good at your end. Yeah, guys, it's a bit slow today. People are taking their time to join the stream. Waiting for people to jump in. Waiting for people to jump in, man. Let's see if more people join, and then hopefully we get people on the chat. Where is everyone? Where is everyone? Pissing me off. Where is everyone waiting? Oh, this is boring. This is boring. Where is everyone? Where the hell is everyone? What the hell is going on here? Normally we have a lot more people in the stream by now. Come on, guys. Where are you guys at? All right, waiting for a few more people to get in. And then hopefully we can chop it up and talk some boxing. Yeah, what did you guys make of David Benavidez's performance yesterday? What did you guys make of it? Benavidez looked pretty decent against David Lemieux, although like a old, washed-up version of Lemieux. What did you guys make of his performance? What did you make of how he looked? What did you make of how he looked against David Lemieux? It was a good performance. He did what he had to do. He did what he had to do. But nonetheless, we now need to see David Benavidez step up now and fight some of the top guys, which he hasn't really done, really. It's not his fault. Maybe guys are avoiding him, but, we need to really see him fight some stiff competition, because let's be brutally honest, he's not really fought anybody worthwhile. He's not really fought anybody, great at this point. So we need to see him step up, and we need to see him fight some stiff competition, because right now, he's not really fought anyone, to be brutally honest. He's not really fought anyone. So yeah, hopefully he can step up and fight some strong opposition, because we're kind of getting frustrated with the opposition that these guys are fighting. They're fighting nobody's really, and we need them to step up and fight some top tier competition now. So yeah, that will tell us where Benavidez is at, in his career. But yeah, it's really slow today. I don't know what's going off with you guys. They're not entering the stream. What's going on? Normally, the streams are packed. What is going off? What is going off here? Why isn't the people entering the stream? Um, I don't know what's going off. I don't know what's going off. Why are people not entering the stream? What is going on? Waiting for you guys to join the stream, man. Waiting for you guys to join the stream. Um, I've had one message so far. Where are the messages gone? Where are you guys gone? Man, what is going off? Smash the like button while you're there, guys. I'd really appreciate if you smash the like button. At the minute, there's not people in the stream. It's getting a bit irritating at this particular point, because normally it's quite packed. Oh, what's going off? What's going off? Come on, guys. Where are you guys at? Yeah, I don't know whether there's an issue with the stream or something doesn't seem right, because normally at this point there's quite a few people in the stream. I don't know what's going off. I don't know what's going off. But yeah, guys, hopefully more people join. But yeah, guys, smash the like button. Everybody in the stream, smash the like button. If you want to jump on, you're more than welcome to jump on and give your thoughts about yesterday's fights. We had some fights, we had some events. So if you want to jump on, you're more than welcome to jump on. I'm looking forward to getting your guys' thoughts, and let's chop up some boxing. I want to know your thoughts about the fights and stuff. So yeah, hopefully you guys jump on, and we can chop it up, man. We can chop it up. But yeah, yesterday David Benavidez fought David Lemieux, and it was a pretty one-sided fight. As soon as he landed the first left hook, Lemieux was all over the place, and David Benavidez jumped on him and wiped him out pretty fast. 3 rounds. The second round he had him down. The fight could have been stopped in the first round. Benavidez was effectively all over. Benavidez was all over Lemieux. Lemieux was all over the place, and it looked like the fight could finish in the first. The referee, the bell went, and the Lemieux managed to survive. Came out for the second round, and David Benavidez landed some good shots on Lemieux. He went down in the second, and then in the third round, the corner just stopped it. Enough was enough. He took a lot of punishment. He was getting beat down, David Lemieux. He was getting beaten up in there. Let's be honest. He looked washed, and David Benavidez absolutely battered him. So yeah, I always said that I think Lemieux's not really a super middleweight. He was so undersized. Benavidez was too big for him, and he just was too fast in the end. And basically just wiped out David Lemieux. I think that was a really impressive performance, because I did think that Lemieux could cause him some issues, but at the same time, I did say I don't know whether his power would carry up to super middleweight, and he'd be undersized. And obviously, Benavidez is a younger, fresher man. He was just too much for David Lemieux. Lemieux stood in there, was hardened, but he just wasn't at the races. As soon as Benavidez landed the first flush shot, Lemieux was all over the place, really, when you think about it. So yeah, I think Lemieux's days are numbered. I think Lemieux's old now. I think he probably is going to retire. But yeah, I think it was a good performance. I think Benavidez did what he had to do. So yeah, now we need to see him step up and fight the best guys in that division, and we need to see him fight the best. Simple as that. These sort of easy fights, I've had enough of it. We need to see him step up and fight stiff competition now, because fighting guys like David Lemieux isn't going to tell us how good David Benavidez is. We need to see him step up and fight Plant, Charlo, and guys like that for us to know, or Andre, guys like that, so we know how good really David Benavidez is. Because at this point, we don't really know how good Benavidez is. Let's be brutally honest. Benavidez is pretty untested, unproven, and yeah, we need to see him step up against some of the top tier competition out there. That's my take on it. I just think we need to see him fight some of the best guys. Unfortunately, he hasn't done that as at this point. So we need to see him, step up a gear. Um, Lemieux gave some good shots, but Benavidez take his shots without any problem. Lemieux must go down at 160 or retirement. Yeah, Benavidez gets too many passes for C-level fighters, fighting C-level fighters. Yeah, he's fighting lower level competition at this particular point. We need to see him step up and fight the best guys, now. Benavidez, I don't know why people are saying he's the best at 168 pounds when he hasn't really fought anybody, really. How can he be the best at 168 pounds when he hasn't fought anyone? He's got to fight the top guys to be considered the best guy at the division, man. That's absurd to call him the best at 168 when he's not really fought anybody. Come on. How can you say he's the best when he's not fought anyone? That's absurd to say he's the best. I think that's stupid, to be honest. It's just my opinion. I don't think he's the best at all. He hasn't fought anybody yet. He needs to fight somebody before, we can say he's the best or he's this, that, and the other, because as of right now, he hasn't fought anybody really when you think about it. His level of competition has been very poor up to this point. So we need to see him step up and fight the top guys really before we can crown him, he's the best or he's this and that and the other. Um, Muhammad Khalid said he sparred GGG at 15. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he's the best at 168. He needs to fight top guys, man. He needs to fight top guys. He needs to step up. He needs to step up and fight the best competition. At the minute, he's fighting hand-picked opposition. He and held his own, but again, it's sparring. We don't know. Like, we need to see him. We need to see him step up and fight top guys. Really, his resume is a reflection of the division. It's terrible. Yeah, it is. It is. His resume is terrible. He hasn't really fought anyone, man. He needs to step up, man. He needs to step up. He's a good fight. He's obviously a decent fighter, but he hasn't really fought anybody. Let's be brutally honest. His resume is poor, and he hasn't fought anyone. So we need to see him against much more stiffer competition now, for us to see how good he really is, because he's not been fighting anybody at this particular point. So yeah, when he steps up and he moves up and he fights stiffer competition, then we can probably crown him and say this, that, and the other. But as of right now, I think we need to see him step up really, and take that next step. Guys, get your questions in. Smash the like button and get your questions in, guys. Really smash the like button. I'd really appreciate if you smash the like button and get your questions in so we can get this stream. So the Brotherhood, I dislike you for being a Canelo hater, but I do agree with you about David Cement Feet Benavidez. David Cement Feet Benavidez. Um, ah, yeah, Benavidez has got very poor feet, to be honest with you. He has got very, very poor feet. He's got fast hands, though. He has got fast hands. But his feet are not the fastest, and he's very long. He's got long arms, So look, he is a problem. He's a good fighter. I just don't think he's as good as what some people make him out to be at this point. He's unproven, really. He's untested, really, when you think about it. Who's he really fought? Who's he really beat? Canelo has slow feet as well, yeah. But Canelo has good upper body movement. That's the thing. Canelo has really good upper body movement, which makes him hard to hit. Whereas someone like Benavidez is not got that defense or that slick movement. I don't see anyone at 168 that can beat Benavidez. The problem is nobody wants to fight Benavidez. It's for the Lemieux v Benavidez. So you guys think Canelo would beat Benavidez? Canelo will get brutalized beating and will never be the same. Wow, no KP saying Canelo would never be the same. No, I don't agree with that. What's going on, Rare Breed? You good?
What's up?
I'm all good, bro. I'm all good, man. How's it going? Did you see that fight yesterday, Benavidez and Lemieux?
I did.
What did you make of it?
I mean, he did what I thought he was going to do. I don't think it was. I didn't know it was going to end that early though. But you know, David's a beast.
But he's fighting
Um,
these guys, man, these lower tier competition, man, old men and stuff. And Lemieux's not even a 168 pounder. He's a 160 pounder,
so,
man.
well, like you got to see, like similar to Jaron Ennis, in my opinion, these guys don't really want to fight him at 168.
Yeah.
Don't I feel like the only way David Benavidez is going to have a real challenge is at 175. These
Mm.
guys at 168 or moving up to 168, they're no match for him. That includes Canelo. I'm
You reckon? You think Canelo's no match for Benavidez?
not gonna say no match. That might be going a little bit too far, but I think he beats. I think he beats Canelo.
But
In
how though?
fact,
He hasn't really got a lot of power. You know what I mean? It's not like these guys. Like I know yesterday Lemieux, but Lemieux's not. Lemieux's old now. I'm saying like even the guy he fought previously, man, he was taking a lot of his shots. Canelo's a lot
see,
harder to hit than that.
the David Benavidez applies a different kind of pressure. He doesn't get tired. He's got pretty good reflexes for a big guy. He's got great hand speed, and he has like the Earl Spence type of power. He grinds you like it's a
Mm.
grind you down
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of power,
Has he got
accumulation
the
through
has he got
beating.
the chin though? Has he got the chin to take the power from someone like Canelo?
Yes, he definitely. I think he has the chin, and he's got the like. As a Mexican boxer, to be honest with you, I don't think you can make it through the ranks without having a chin, just
Mm,
because of their styles.
mm,
You know, so
mm,
he's not a. We know he doesn't have great defense. So if he didn't have a chin, we would. I think we would have known by now, right?
But he has been
Yeah,
dropped though.
that was a flash knockdown. I've never seen
Yeah.
him wobbled. I've never seen him hurt, and he takes a lot of punches. Like he actually walks through punches. You saw he didn't really respect Lemieux, even though he's moving up in weight. He
Mm,
just walked through his punches and destroyed him.
mm.
I'll
But
say this: if he can
yeah, go
take
on.
Canelo's punches, which is a
Yeah,
big if, he's
yeah,
bigger than Canelo, so he might. Um,
yeah. Then
Canelo's
it's a
gonna have,
problem, eh? Then it's a problem. But
yeah, it's gonna be a long night.
that it's like even Bivol at times, who's bigger than Benavidez, or like I won't say bigger, but he's definitely a better boxer than Benavidez, in my opinion, right?
Yes, but
Even him, like when Canelo was hitting him, it wasn't like he knew about it. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like he was just like, "Whoa, this guy's nothing." You know what I mean? He knew about it when Canelo was hitting him with those uppercuts and on the arm and stuff. He said that, "Yo, this guy can punch, man, for a
well,
smaller guy."
see that's a myth. That the only way to beat Canelo, you need to be some kind of master boxer. There's more than one way to skin a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like Canelo hasn't fought anybody with this kind of firepower since Triple G.
Mm-hmm.
Triple G was not exactly a master boxer. I mean, he has good skills. Don't get me wrong. But he, I feel like Canelo hasn't fought anybody that will actually try to walk him down.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the guys he's been fighting have been basically boxers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
No, one thing, it won't be a boring fight. Canelo won't have to chase down David Benavidez. He's going to be right there. So it'll
Yeah,
make for a
yeah.
good. But
But
I
what did
don't
you
know if
make of his
Canelo can stand in a pocket with him.
what did you make of his manager though? His manager says Canelo will never fight Benavidez.
Because he won't. I've never seen Canelo fight a guy coming off a dominating performance. He doesn't do that.
Mm,
Even Caleb Plant was coming off the Caleb Truax. Were you impressed by that performance?
not really, no. To be honest,
Callum
no.
Smith. Callum Smith really lost to John Ryder, let's be honest.
Mm.
I have no idea who Billy Joe Saunders fought before Canelo, but I'm sure it probably wasn't some jaw dropping performance. And
Yeah,
let's be real.
yeah.
Let's be real about Billy Joe Saunders. He's probably the most talented out of those three,
Mm,
but his whole attitude, he didn't come into that fight wanting to win.
mm.
Did you ever get that feeling that he was like super hungry, like he actually thought he could beat Canelo? I didn't think so.
No, probably not, man. I don't. I think most people like come into the fight that probably with that like it's a payday, right? They've got not much to lose. If they lose, they got paid.
Well, yeah. Well, Caleb Plant, I'll give him credit. I feel like he had a different type of attitude. I think he
Mm,
actually thought he could win.
mm.
Uh, but I never got that feeling from Billy Joe. But the problem with
Yeah.
Caleb is he doesn't have the skills to apply that, attitude. But um, yeah, I think David Benavidez gives Canelo a lot of trouble. That's just my opinion.
Mm, What do you think, no, KP?
The thing is, when you watch that Canelo fight,
Mm,
um, you, to me, you've seen Canelo's punches. They were just bouncing off. They weren't troubling uh, Bivol. So, and I think but this guy that we're talking about, Benavidez, I just think that I think he's really tough, and I just think the work rate when Canelo, because Canelo's got a habit of gassing, especially when he feels the pressure.
Yep.
And I just feel as if Canelo will get pushed to a point where it'll be a beating.
Yep.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know whether like Benavidez isn't as good a boxer as Bivol. You know what I mean? He's not. He's
Yeah,
not got
yeah, I
potential.
understand that. It is a completely different style of fight, but I think that the slow pressure and every time Canelo throws, he's going to be countering. He's not just a plodder. He'll throw back. I know Canelo will be catching him flush as well, but I just think that he's a Mexican, and I just think he's a type of Margarito type fighter with more skill,
Yep.
more
And
speed.
Fast hands,
Emron,
right? Yeah, go on.
Emron, you're forgetting something.
Yeah, go on.
Canelo's been in like over 60 fights,
Yeah. He's
and
had a
not
lot of
including.
fights.
I,
Yeah, like he's 31, but really in boxing age, he's probably a lot older because of how many fights, training camps he's gone through. That body begins to break down, especially you moving up in weight. Like there's a reason why 30-something-year-old champions don't take offers from young, hungry lions. Like Crawford would be a fool to fight a Jaron Ennis. Like you hear from Spence fans.
I want to
Yeah.
talk to Jaron Ennis later. If you're still here, Rare Breed, I'd love to. I'm gonna do a little thing about him because I don't know if you saw my video about him.
Oh yeah. And I
Yeah,
agree. I agree.
I'm,
By the way, but similar to Canelo fans, I think Canelo fans try to downplay David Benavidez and say he hasn't fought anybody. You
yeah.
see the same attitude from Spence and Crawford fans with Jaron Ennis. But low key in the back of their mind, they know he's a real threat.
Let me put it this way though. Like I don't think I think Spencer's got a decent resume. I don't think you can hate on Spence. He
Yeah.
has got quite a good resume, but Canelo's done a lot more than those guys in terms of jumping weight classes. Yeah, I know. So they are well. He fought that guy past his. He fought that guy, but in terms of his depth of his resume, he's fought a lot of guys. Do you know what I mean? Compared to Crawford and Spence, and the other thing is for me, Jaron Ennis is way better than Benavidez. I know Benavidez has been a champion and stuff, but I like I have said before about Ennis, I think the guy is. I haven't seen someone as
He's a
good as that.
generational talent.
Yeah. I haven't seen someone as good as Ennis. I wouldn't go as far. Like basically put it this way, Rare Breed, right? I don't really see any holes in Boots Ennis's game. I see holes in Benavidez's game. Would you agree with that?
Well, he has some holes. Like when he's on the inside, sometimes he gets caught by silly shit.
Hmm.
And sometimes he's too enamored with his athleticism. That can get you in trouble against like elite guys. But he's still young. Like he's 24. But
Yeah.
I agree. For the most part, he has no real weaknesses in his game. He's a special talent.
Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is like that's why I would disagree with like Spencer and Crawford fans because I think Ennis like he's ready, man. He's ready. I think Benavidez is ready for Canelo as well. I just don't think Benavidez would. I don't think Benavidez would beat Canelo. That's just my personal opinion.
I think Benavidez has a higher chance of beating Canelo than Jaron Ennis has of beating Crawford or Spence.
You reckon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think the size is, and he's not moving back. Canelo will be on that back foot, and also the gassing thing. Canelo's got a tendency to gas when things are not going right.
Mm.
And once he feels that strength of Benavidez, it's not like a pot shotter where he can be on the back foot, pot shot, and then make him hesitant. Benavidez don't get hesitant.
Nope.
And I just think that the size I don't think Canelo hits hard at 168. I know he's had the knockouts.
Also, just by looking at David Benavidez, you could tell he's one of those guys. You got him with a bat to hurt him, like to like knock him out. You might have to bring a gun into the ring.
Mm.
He's that type of guy. He's just gonna walk through. He's like a zombie. He's gonna keep coming. And if you can't, he can't. If he doesn't respect your power, it's gonna be a long night.
So
But the
got
thing
five
is,
minutes.
um,
I think Canelo beats everyone at super middleweight. Should stay there and rule now instead of going down because he's been a pro since 15 years of age, and it's not time to start taking big shots. You say,
the thing the thing is, I don't think if I'm Canelo and I'm in his team, I'm telling him stay away from Benavidez, stay away. What? Why? Why do you want to risk it? Because if he loses his next fight, that legacy that he's built up is all going to go down in smoke.
but do you think he has to rematch Bivol?
I'll stay away from Bivol as well.
I think I think he fought Bivol because it's a win-win situation. If he wins, his legacy goes up tremendously. If he loses, people can just say, "Oh, he was going for legacy. He simply lost to the bigger man."
But
But
if he fights
yeah,
a Mexican, it's not. He's fighting another
yeah.
Mexican.
But if he would, yeah, exactly. If he'd have lost to Benavidez or Charlo at 168,
Hmm.
people would say, "Well, look, that's why he was ducking them in the first place."
I,
So
th- I
there's,
think I think he would have beaten Charlo
yeah,
because
yeah, I think so
I
too.
think he
I
would have
think so
beaten
too.
Charlo. But I
I
just think
agree.
that
But if he,
Benavidez, even
hmm
Charlo knows he don't want nothing to do with Canelo. It went
no,
nothing to do not Canelo, Benavidez.
oh
Charlo
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
nothing to do with Benavidez, and Canelo should follow suit.
Hey,
Freeze him out. I know it sounds
Im-
bad, but
yeah, Imran.
Hmm.
Exactly, bro. Do you see the energy that Charlo has for Benavidez? That should tell you all you need to know. Benavidez is not some
Oh,
hype job, or you can say he's fought nobody, but the fighters know.
yeah,
and did you see Charlo? He
Paulo,
was like he's a weight bully. He's a weight
Yeah,
bully. You know, like that's someone that's scared. He is a weight bully, but Benavidez ain't a 168 pound fighter. He's a 175 pound fighter. He's massive.
yeah, and also, let's say you,
He's
you
bigger
think
than he's
Canelo
bigger
can beat him,
than Bibble.
right? Hey, look, Imran, if Canelo beats David Benavidez,
hmm.
he would get just as much credit for beating him as he when he beat Triple G. Let me tell you why. Because at the time, everybody was calling this kid a boogeyman. Oh, Canelo's ducking him. Like, if there's a documentary about Canelo in the future and he beats a David Benavidez, that's going to be one of the top moments. Like, remember when Canelo toppled the giant David Benavidez when nobody else wanted to fight him? Like that would do a lot for his legacy. So let's not act like he brings nothing to the table.
Oh yeah, have to agree now. The hype around Vides,
Yeah.
but I reckon beat Bivol's even bigger though.
He's not beating Bivol. Like there,
Oh yeah,
unless some cheating goes on or something crazy, there's no way you can
No,
lose that
he's saying
unanimously. And
you think Bibble's bigger than Benavidez. Is that what you're saying, Imran?
no. I mean if he was to beat Bivol, that's a bigger win than Vides.
Oh, right, okay.
yeah, yeah,
That's
but I'm
yeah.
saying he needs to forget that because that's not going to happen unless something
But
some cheating goes
can't,
on.
you can't leave that on the table. You can't not fight. You can't not fight Bivol again because you think you can't beat him. I think Canelo's viewed his whole legacy will be on it if he doesn't go after that fight.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You can just say that I tried going for greatness, but he was too big, so I'm gonna go and try to reign in my own weight class, which is
How much
168.
how much did Bibble get paid? Was meant to get paid last time?
Like
5 million.
5 million.
Yeah. Put up that to
Also,
10. Up that to 10 and say you're fall in the six.
hey,
Everything's fixed.
Im- Imran,
Yeah.
if you're a Canelo fan, if he never fights David Benavidez, that's gonna hurt his legacy, right? Let me tell you why. Because before Canelo moved up to 168, the man at 168 was Benavidez before he popped for coke. So if he goes on to be a great fighter and Canelo never fights him, people will say Canelo went undisputed at 168 and he never fought the true contender at 168 or champion at 168, which is David Benavidez.
But the problem, Canelo won't retire. He says he's got another 4 or 5 years left,
Mm.
Yeah,
and in that time, you're going to see Canelo get a beating. Just
yeah,
because he reminds me a bit like Tyson. You know, like Tyson had that short prime because he was a small fighter,
yeah.
and he only had a small prime, like 2 or 3 years.
Exactly.
Once Canelo starts to dip, you're going to start seeing a lot of damage on him.
His explosiveness is gone.
I think though I think Canelo Benavidez is a big. I think that's a great fight. But I think the chances are he'll probably fight Golovkin next, and then they'll probably look for a Bivol fight.
If he fights Benavidez, that would be massive. Can you imagine two
He can't
Mexicans?
fight Benavidez though. He can't fight
Cinco de Mayo.
Phew.
Yeah, guys, he can't fight Benavidez next. There's no way he can fight.
I know, but if he fight Triple G and then fight Benavidez, why not?
Did you see? I know. Lemieux's finished, but
Yeah,
the size difference,
yeah, but Lemieux,
Exactly. And
Lemieux
Lemieux's the same size as Canelo.
and it was like you
very,
couldn't believe the strength. We
he's
know when
not.
the fighters are in there, you know about the strength. You know.
Yeah. Let's get Steven in, man. Steven, what did you make of that performance by David Benavidez yesterday?
I mean, man, it was just like we called it, man. Just like let's face it, man. Nobody on God's green earth thought that David Lemieux was gonna be was even gonna challenge David Benavidez. I
But
mean, it was a watch. So
he
that's
was
not a real. This
he
I
was
don't use that fight that happened last night. I don't use that as a barometer to gauge where David Benavidez is. I can't do it.
the Steven. The thing is though that Lemieux was once upon a time a good fighter. A good fighter in the sense that he could punch at 160, right? He's
Yeah,
now kind
yeah.
of old and past his best, and he's fighting out a weight class that he doesn't really want that. So Benavidez did a great thing. He battered him. He did batter him from pillar to post, really. I didn't. To be honest, I didn't expect it to be that easy. Like I expected to win, but not that easy. Like, Lemieux just not there. Like, he got battered. He
Aaron,
put up a fight, really.
Aaron,
Yeah.
Aaron. Let me tell you something, man. How long I've been telling you that David Benavidez is a killer in the game. I've been saying that for a long time, man.
Yeah, I've written, but the thing is, even the jury's still out in the sense that the competition is poor, man.
Yeah. Until he moves up in weight. If he goes up to 175 and still be thrashing and smashing on these fools like that, then then I'm willing to say that the only guy that could beat him at 168 is 168 Morrell Jr. You know what I'm saying? That's the only guy that I see that could beat him. Because David Benavidez is kind of like a weight bully, man. He's kind of like, I hate to say it, but he's kind of like a weight bully.
He is.
And
You don't.
yeah,
But you don't. Canelo or is a
Go
good
ahead.
fight. You
Who?
don't good fight, Steven.
No, ain't no good fight, man. Man,
You know who
You
I'd
see
like
what-
to see
you see what-
Benavidez fight?
you see you. Hold on, wait, real quick, my man. You see what Bivol did to Canelo, man.
But Bivol's
It'll be the same type of deal, but it may even be worse with David Benavidez because his punch rate is so up there, man. He's so much bigger than Canelo. That's a mismatch. Canelo, you know what, man? Like I told y'all last time, man. Canelo, he put himself in a real precarious situation, losing to Dimitri Bivol because he got killers on both sides. He's like a wounded dolphin in a sea of sharks. They smell blood now. So his best, most strategical fight is gonna be with Gennady. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he can beat Gennady. If he beats Gennady, he got a chance for redemption. But
who
other than that, huh?
Who we talking about? Canelo beating on. Or
Yeah. Canelo beating Gennady.
hmm.
Yeah, that's his only chance, man. This is his only chance at redemption.
Han said Canelo decide whether he's going to go back to 5 and fight Bivol next, Gennady Golovkin. I don't
Somebody's
know.
phone need to be muted. Somebody got a lot of interference in the background.
I don't know who is that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who it is. Who is that?
Okay, it's gone now.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, but yeah, basically, he's going to decide next week whether he's going to fight Gennady Golovkin in the trilogy, or he's going to fight Dmitry Bivol in a rematch. It's going to be interesting to see what Canelo decides, man. You know, a lot of people don't want him to go near Bivol, but I wouldn't be surprised if he fights Bivol again. I think that might be the fight he takes.
If you know what, man, there's a such thing as letting your pride get to you, and your pride overshadow your logic and your direction in life, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, ain't nobody taking nothing away from Canelo, man. Canelo was a killer, you know what I'm saying? And he was, you know what I'm saying, he was top of the hill for a long time. If he go and he try to fight, if he want to rematch with Dmitry Bivol, I'm telling you, it ain't gonna go well. And that's really gonna do some damage to his career. So his best bet is to fight Gennady. That's an equal match. They he knows him well. They've had it would be three bouts. You know what I'm saying? All in favor of Canelo. He needs to go with him because I'm telling you, man, he got some killers at 168. It's just waiting on him. He got 168 waiting on him. He got killers at 175. I don't even think he could contend at 175. He need to go ahead and fight. Let this thing with Dimitri. Leave that in the past. Move on. Ain't nobody looking at you with your head down because we all know you a gangster. Everybody know that Canelo is a killer. But if he fights Dimitri again, I'm telling you, it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be worse. He need to fight good now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think the fact is, you know, the way we as fans pump Canelo up, right? There's no way he's not gonna want to fight Bivol again because he'll just feel like everything that I've earned over the last decade has disappeared. Like people don't see Canelo the same way. Once you lose, you're not seen as the same way. Like look at the way Canelo was perceived prior to the Bivol fight, and look how he's perceived now. Now he's all of a sudden seen as human. Whereas before it was like, this guy's a monster. This guy's, Canelo, in Canelo's heart of mind, he's hurting right now because he feels my air of invincibility has been taken. But on the other hand, Stephen, right now, none of us think he beats Bivol. If he goes in there and beats Bivol, Canelo's 10 times bigger than what he was prior. So this is like, as a fighter, they're delusional. They don't think like how we think. They think about the positives rather than the negatives. We think, nah, man, we just seen him go in there and he got beat comfortably. But fighters are delusional. They don't look at it like that. They look at it they look at it on the positive. They look at the positive. They don't look at negative. Hence why I think he's going to fight him.
Well, I think Iran, man, respectfully, I think that'd be a disastrous, calamitous decision for him to do because look, man, I don't, who and what do I know? I ain't no fortune teller. I can't foresee or tell the future, but just by what I know about boxing and the history, a rematch with somebody who beat you handily, it's not gonna fare well for you. And I'll say this too, man. You see what what I'm saying? This is a point I'm gonna make, and it's gonna be exquisite. You see what Floyd did last night? Floyd was in the ring dancing. He was in the ring. He had he was doing the ring girls job and everything.
I made a video about it, man. I made a video about it. You saw it. I think you commented on it as well.
Yeah. So
that where I did the Floyd and the Buatsi one, and then you said you commented about Buatsi.
Buatsi a gangster, boy. He'll kill a boy. I'm telling you, man. I've been real high on Buatsi for a long time. But y'all, you know what I'm saying? It seems like my people over there in the UK, man, y'all be feeling Buatsi for some reason. But
no,
man,
that's highly rated in the UK. It's Yard that's underrated. It's Yard. It's Yard, the guy that I actually think could beat Buatsi. You know what I mean? But it's Yard that I think's a bit underrated. Yard's the one that don't get the credit.
Yard's a gang. Yard killer, boy. He's Anthony Yard is the real deal, man. I'm telling y'all that now.
There's some
But
killers
yeah,
at
Canelo,
175.
Canelo, real quick, and I'll shut up and I'll let y'all talk, man. But back to Canelo. Canelo, man, he's earned the right kind of coast away. Don't start getting in the ring and become a mockery of yourself. Don't do that. I don't want to see him go out like some of these past fighters that keep fighting these
I do.
these fights. Huh? You said what?
I do. I want to see
Go
that.
ahead. Tell him, my man. Tell us why. Tell us why.
I can't stand Canelo and his fans. Not you, Imran. You're a good dude, but a lot of them, they're unbearable, bro. Canelo would have beat Roy Jones in his prime. Canelo would have beat Andre Ward easily. Canelo would have beat Floyd if he wasn't a
But
baby.
here's the thing.
Canelo can go up to 200 pounds and beat Usyk.
I
Man,
agree.
get the fuck out of here.
I agree with you. But every fan's delusional like that, man. You look at some of Floyd fans, they'll say he's the greatest fighter of all time. He's the greatest ever. Where, like, let's be brutally honest, man. That guy's not better than Ali in the sense that look at the resume that Ali had and when he fought the
But
guy, he fought them. So
okay,
this
but
one,
at least Floyd is in the conversation of greatest of all time. He's at least top 10 in my opinion.
no, Floyd is a better boxer than Canelo. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to say is that Floyd fans at times are delusional as well. If we're honest, let's be brutally honest. Stephen, am I lying here?
Okay,
Yeah,
let's say you're right. Let's say
Yeah,
you're right, Imran.
yeah.
Let's say you're right, but
Or
either
even
way,
Pacquiao,
first
or
of all,
even Pacquiao,
Canelo,
even
no,
Pacquiao fans.
Pacquiao, no, well, yeah, especially Pacquiao fans too, but Pacquiao is way. Let me say this: Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather and Canelo should not be in the same sentence. Canelo is not on that level of greatness. I'm sorry, he's not. He's not.
I don't know,
He's
man.
no, he's really not. I'm sorry, Imran. He's not. He's not even a top 20 fighter of all time.
Oh yeah, I'd agree with that. At this point, no, he's not. But the point
Pacquiao and Mayweather
I'm trying
are.
to make of this era right now, there isn't anyone that's really done more than him that's active. If we're honest,
Well, let's say this: if
yeah.
Crawford beats Earl Spence, goes up to 54, and
Okay,
beats Charlo and becomes undisputed,
but that's if.
Crawford is the best fighter of this
Gonna say-
generation.
Steven's gonna be disagreeing with you because Steven's gonna say he ain't beating Spence and he certainly ain't beating no Charlo. Am I
Yeah,
right?
that's why I said if. That's why I said if. Because then he'll be undisputed in 3 weight classes, and he beat 2 future Hall of Famers in their prime in Earl Spence and Charlo. He would deserve to be the face of this generation.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I'd agree.
you dropping jewels, man. But you dropping jewels, but man, I mean, you kind of like, man, man, Crawford. I'm telling you, man, Crawford ain't gonna do that, man. He got a stoppage coming, even with EJ, man. What? Yeah, ain't no. He ain't going up to 154 and beat no Jamel. Jamel gonna clean his clock, man. Come on,
But
word up.
I don't know about that.
Steven, if Spence and Crawford fight Jaron Ennis, it's night. It's clean your clock time, as you would say. Jaron Ennis, that boy is gonna clean all of these guys out, and they don't want no part of Ennis. You know
Hey,
that.
when I tell people that, they tell me I'm crazy. Oh, he hasn't fought nobody, but
Ennis is gonna clean
you
all
can't
these
just
guys.
use an eye
You know
test.
that, and you know that Ennis is that guy is not getting
Next
Killer,
level.
man.
if you saw the video today, me and my brother were going back and forth about it. My brother's like, nah, Spence beats Ennis, Crawford beats Ennis. No, Ennis beats him right now. Ennis beats those guys right now. I don't see those guys beating Ennis. And yeah, he hasn't fought the competition, but they know, Crawford and Spence know, when they talk about Ennis, they go quiet. They know that this guy is something special.
Different.
They know it.
Steven.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Buatsi, he's going to have to tighten up his defense if he because he gets caught with that right hand, and against some of the big heavy hitters at 175. Early on he looked more promising.
Yeah. You're right.
But he's getting caught flush now.
Yeah, he is.
And if Yardy hits him, like that. It'll
Mm.
be. It's not that good news. And
Yeah.
and better be there if he lands.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree, man.
I'm
It
gonna be
seems
honest
like
with you.
he needs more sound. It seems like Boise needs more sound coaching. He needs some defensive coaching in his life because it seems like a lot of times he out there he just I mean he you know he have his hands down and stuff. It worries me, but he hits so hard, dude.
But yeah, I'm saying he does it hard, but he just loves to be on the inside, and sometimes he can't do it against
I don't
big
Hmm.
see.
big
I
punches.
don't see
He's
him
going to
beating
have to be able
anybody
to.
elite at
He's
175.
going to have to box on the back foot.
I don't either. I'm just being honest. He ain't beating anyone. He
Yeah,
ain't beating anyone
he's a
else.
good
You know,
fighter though.
Do you think he would beat Canelo, Stephen?
No, no. Come on.
I think
Well,
he would. Yeah,
just off his size alone, he'll give Canelo problems. But I feel like Canelo should be able to beat a guy like this. But who knows?
man.
But
Up though,
what does Canelo do on the inside? What would he do on the inside? Because Buatsi is a killer on the inside. He knows how
Yeah,
to work the
but
inside.
Yeah, so is Canelo though.
does he
Canelo,
have the durability to take Canelo's body shots?
nah.
But Canelo's body shots haven't been that proven at 175. He's only fought
I
at
mean, Bivol has
151.
the best defense, arguably, in the sport of boxing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
Yeah, but
Boatsy does not. So if he can take in those punches, then yeah,
You
he
just
should. He'll be
look, KP. You just said that Boatsi's got a leaky defense. A leaky defense
yeah
against Canelo is trouble. Let's be brutally honest.
yeah,
yeah.
Canelo's not a massive puncher
He
Well,
is. He
at
well,
is.
I don't
175.
I don't know if it's because Bivol had too much respect for Canelo before the fight, so he was very weary,
If they have a
or
rematch,
maybe he felt Canelo's power and said, you know what, let me not get too ahead
Yeah.
of myself in this fight. Let me take my shots.
Look
if
at
That's
the
they
what it
when
looked
they
like.
have that
oh,
rematch,
well, man.
there's a good chance he stops him.
'Cause, yeah, maybe. But did you see Bivol go all out against Canelo? He
No,
didn't, right?
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
but that's because he thought Canelo was trying to set traps up.
Yeah, that's a sign of a guy who respects your power. Because if he didn't
and
respect his power, he would just walk through it.
and Bawasi can punch.
Yeah.
That dude can thump, and he tough as nails too, dude.
yeah,
I
but
don't know, man.
here's the thing though. Here's the thing, Stephen. Richards yesterday took all of Boatsi's power. He didn't go down. He didn't get what like
But
if I went 12 rounds.
Richards has got a
At
granite
world
jaw.
level, you're not gonna knock these guys out. You're not gonna knock Canelo out. Yeah, Boatsi's not.
You put him in the with the right guy. Eventually, that chin starts to deteriorate over
I've
time.
seen if you're watching that Bivol fight, he was hurt a few times in that fight.
Yeah,
I don't see.
Bivol just didn't step on the gas.
If Bivol had stepped on the gas, he could have got a stoppage.
I don't.
You know who will step on the gas though? Benavidez.
Yeah, that's
I'm just saying.
But
That
Benavidez
was.
is also defensively not sound, and that's the issue for Benavidez.
It won't matter if one guy has a better offensive repertoire.
But has he got a better offensive repertoire though?
Absolutely.
You
He's
think
got more. He has more combination. He has more variety in his punches. He's got faster hands, and he probably has just as much as power as Canelo. Like Canelo's not a one punch knockout artist. I don't think he is.
let's get people in there. Makai Ray has joined the chat. Makai, what did you make of Benavidez's performance yesterday?
I mean, it was expected. He fought some midget, so I'm not impressed at all. No, he's a
Hey,
good
you know,
168 pounder because he's a lot bigger than everyone. Once he moves up to 175, I think he gets battered.
maybe, but you know, Lemieux is the same exact size as Canelo, right?
Does he beat Canelo?
I think it's a good fight. I won't bet on that. We can't, Lemieux, yeah, they may be the same size, but Canelo's clearly a lot more skilled. I mean, a prime Lemieux at middleweight, he was very dangerous. I mean, this is a washed up
I'll say
Lemieux
this.
moving up to
I'll say
168.
this. Benavidez gives Bivol a lot more trouble than Canelo did.
But say that again, sorry.
Benavidez gives Bivol a lot more trouble than Canelo did. They sparred before.
Maybe,
Bivol,
because
yeah,
but Canelo's tiny, man. He was
I,
tiny
I,
yeah.
compared
I
to
don't
Bivol.
I don't
And then
know, man.
Benavidez, I
I
think
feel like
Benavidez is actually a little bit bigger than Bivol, but I think Bivol still wins.
I don't
There
look.
you
I don't
go.
think people are getting carried away with one bad performance and
Yeah,
thinking that
but
come on, anyone can have a bad night. Canelo's had 60 fights and he's
Well,
performed at the
it's
time.
not.
with,
It's not because
yeah,
of the bad performance.
with Benavidez, he's a good 168 pounder because he's a lot bigger than all these guys. When he moves up to 175, then we'll see how good he really is. But he gets away with a lot of things. He's got terrible feet. He's got horrible defense. The guy's fast.
That's
But
not true.
you see how he was unloading on Lemieux with his chin right up in the air. Oh man, he just gets away with a lot of things because of his size and everything. I mean, people don't like to hear that, but it's so true.
Can I respond to that real quick?
Yeah,
So
go
look,
on.
there's like this myth out there that if you don't have great head movement, you don't have good defense. That's not true. There's other ways to have great defense. Earl Spence, he parries most of his shots. He's got a good guard. That's similar to how Benavidez has his defense. He actually has pretty good defense. Also, you're talking about footwork. Canelo doesn't have the best footwork either. So like, it really wouldn't matter in that fight. And you just said it yourself. Benavidez is probably bigger than Bivol. So if those size issues he had with Bivol, why wouldn't he have it with Benavidez?
Because Benavidez is
Bivol
not
beat,
the boxer as Bivol. That's why he's not.
Bivol's beat
like,
bigger guys anyway. Joe Smith. There you go. Right
Okay,
there.
I don't think Joe Smith is as skilled as David Benavidez. He actually has more skills than you think he does. You see how accurate he is with his power punches.
I don't think Joe Smith is that skilled. What the point I'm making is
At
Bivol
all.
is very skilled. Bivol is very skilled. And the other thing I wanted to say, Bradbury, to yourself, yes, stylistically, Bivol was a hard fight for Canelo, and he will always have caused Canelo issues. But Canelo was also poor in that fight. It wasn't all Bivol. It was Canelo was also poor in that fight. There was no game plan. There was one dimensional approach to that fight. So it was, Bivol was good, and stylistically that style does cause Canelo issues. However,
Or dare I say, I know this is going to be controversial. Maybe Canelo is just a limited fighter.
Hey, let's see what Ray got to say.
Hey, go on, Ray.
Which point do you want me to answer?
All of them. Wherever you want to go, man. Wherever you want to answer.
Okay, because there's so many. Hit one with me first, and I'll go. Because I don't know if you want to talk about Benavidez, Canelo, Bivol. Which one?
Wherever you start, wherever you want to start, man.
First of all, Benavidez is there's still a lot of question marks about him because he fought another CD class opponent.
That's being
the fella that's speaking, not Stephen, the other one. He's on about what problems Benavidez will cause Canelo.
Yeah.
The difference between Benavidez and Bivol is Bivol's got this wonderful habit that boxers should have. When you hit somebody, you get out of the way or you take a step back. It's called boxing. Now, Benavidez seems to just walk forward with the complete belief in his ability that he's got a chin like Carl Froch and he'll take whatever somebody has. He's a typical swarmer. He doesn't have concussive power. He just walks forward and relies on accumulating punches. Now, Bivol's far more skilled than Benavidez. Benavidez versus Canelo is a different fight than Bivol versus Canelo because Bivol's got quick feet, quick hands, gets out of range, and he can defend himself. Benavidez doesn't defend himself. Completely disagree with what the lad was saying about just because he doesn't have head movement doesn't mean he's got a poor defense. Well, that might be true in some cases. Benavidez doesn't have a great defense, and his opponents are being handpicked to ensure that there's a myth around Benavidez that he's a monster. Really, he's not. I don't think Benavidez will have much success against Canelo. It gets point, mate, where you get the 20 fights, and if you haven't fought somebody like a Caleb Ant, if you haven't fought even someone like an Edgar Berlanga or tempted Mark Charlo to come up, then you've got to ask question marks about how good he is. There's no difference between Benavidez and Conor Benn.
What?
They're living off hype.
Well,
hype.
Conor Benn, I'm not so sure about him yet, but Conor Benn does have talent. But I'll say this. Um, as far as the Benavides having handpicked opponents, these people literally do not want to fight him. Like you can only fight who they put in front of you, and you can see why they don't want to fight him because he's really a 175 pounder fighting at 168. He's got
Yeah, I
size
agree with that.
advantage over every. Yeah,
Yeah.
so like it's a dangerous fight,
Yeah, no
and
one wants
he's
to fight
not.
Benavidez.
I think where
Yeah,
I was going with the Benavidez kind of Ben comparison is that the resumes are poor. I mean,
oh yeah,
Benavidez, fair enough, he's been a 3-time world champion. I don't mean ability wise. I just mean in the sense that there's a lot of hype about them being better than what they actually are. And when you look at the resumes, who have they actually fought?
But
I mean,
Ray, you know what? You
Benavidez,
say that's been a
hang on. Benavidez is a good fighter, but he can't be seen as anything much more until he's made the
do
crossover
you
and he's had that defining fight within his weight class. He hasn't
I
had
do
that
you
think
yet.
think anybody
Benavidez
that
will
Canelo
go at
beat?
You
168.
can't tell me that David Lemieux is that fight that I'm on about here.
Do
Ray.
you
Everyone
think
else has
do you
had
think Caleb
everyone
Plant,
else.
Callum Smith, or Billy Joe Saunders can beat David Benavidez?
Yeah, I think so.
Which
I think
one?
Callum Smith could. I think Callum Smith would,
Oh
yeah.
my God, he's
And I
gonna
think
Callum Smith. No disrespect, he has no heart.
I think Caleb Plant. I think he does have heart. I think he does have
Uh,
heart. I think what you've looked at is that 168 Canelo when he was drained. I
well,
think
I mean that's the only way they're gonna fight.
Well, Callum Smith can bang.
Caleb Plant
He
could
can
cause some
really
problems.
bang. If that's gonna, he would test his chin. That's for sure. But
Callum
that's at
Smith lost to
125.
John Ryder. Let's be honest. He lost to John Ryder. He got destroyed by Canelo. He's no match for David Benavidez. Billy Joe Saunders, come on.
Billy Joe
Didn't
Saunders absolutely
didn't
humiliated
in a
David
way
Lemieux though.
didn't in a way fight with that
Billy
same
Joe
injury
Saunders has
against.
got movement. Billy Joe Saunders at the time before that injury, he had the
Okay, David
movement, the
Benavidez is gonna
skills.
cut off the ring and take him out.
No,
No-
David Benavidez doesn't have the footwork to cut off the ring.
Yes, he does. He's actually very good at cutting off the
No, he
ring.
doesn't. Nah.
He doesn't have great footwork, but he does know how to cut off the ring.
So how would you cut off the ring if you haven't? That's
Do
what
you
it's
think?
about.
Most people who
Use
he
your feet
fights
to cut off the
usually
ring.
try to run.
I know you
He's
guys.
used to that.
I know you guys think Benavidez got a good chin, but do you think Callum Smith's left up?
Callum Smith can punch.
That's what I'm
Callum Smith
thinking.
can punch.
But I
I
don't
think
know.
the problem
what's-
is.
Here's the
I think the
thing.
problem is in
When did
America,
Canelo
I'm
turn to
seeing how good
Deontay
Callum
Wilder?
Smith is.
No,
When did Canelo turn to Deontay Wilder? What's this myth that
Yeah, I don't
if he
think he can
catches
punch at
Benavidez, he's
168.
gonna
I
hurt
don't
him?
think he's a massive puncher at 168.
no, but
Yeah,
I think he
Bang.
gets Benavidez by the body. I think he gets Benavidez by the body. I really think Canelo
Hey,
Alvarez is all wrong.
let's say
Benavidez
okay.
is a savage.
Let's say this. Let's say Benavidez fights Callum Smith or Billy Joe Saunders and he destroys him. Do you guys honestly think that, Canelo's like, oh, you know what? I think I want to fight this guy now? Nope. He's gonna be like, yeah, I'm really not fighting this motherfucker now.
rare breed. You know what? I Billy Joe Saunders. Look, the size difference between Billy Joe Saunders and David Benavidez is massive because Billy Joe Saunders is really a middleweight, right? Moving up.
Exactly.
I can tell you
Yeah.
this: Billy Joe Saunders would make David Benavidez look stupid for a couple of rounds. I'm
Yes,
telling you.
yes.
And he would
Amen.
eventually get caught and
Yes.
knocked out.
No,
But
he
he would
wouldn't.
look stupid.
No, he wouldn't.
David
No, he
Benavidez has
wouldn't.
faster
Personally-
hands than
Benavidez
Canelo.
would destroy.
Personally, I think
Destroy
Benavidez would
Billy
break
Billy
some.
Joe Saunders won't be.
You can't run forever.
Billy
He's not
Joe
Floyd Mayweather.
Saunders- No, he's not. But David Benavidez will be able to catch up with him. We're talking about somebody.
Yes, he
who's
will. He's got
struggling to
faster
make weight.
hands than Canelo.
So
You
how
think
can
he can
he
just
has
run
got
around the
feet?
ring
I
for
think
12
he'll
rounds?
beat that ring
No,
off.
Redbreed, hang on, man. Let me finish. This
I'm-
kid, Redbreed,
Bro.
said that Benavidez doesn't have the feet. So if he hasn't got the feet, if he hasn't got quick feet, how's he going to catch up to Billy Joe Saunders?
So
I'm
you
talking
I
you
think
honestly
he'll- I
think
think
that
he'll
Billy
just
Joe
close the ring
Saunders
up.
can?
Guys,
Before the
guys,
injury.
let's go one at a time. I don't know what's going on. People are talking. Let Ray speak.
Okay.
Let Ray respond to Rare Breed. I don't know what's going off right now.
Thank
Go
you.
on, Ray.
Thank you. I'll just take a second. You already said, Rare Breed, yeah, that Benavidez doesn't have quick feet. So if he doesn't have quick feet, how's he going to catch up to Billy Joe Saunders? I'm talking about Billy Joe Saunders before he had the eye injury, because Billy
Because
Joe
it's-
Saunders is hit and he's out. He's out.
It's
He
hard.
could go missing in the 20-foot ring.
It's hard to duck and dodge for 12 rounds. Eventually, he's going to have to sit on the ropes, and he's going to have to lay on the ropes, and Benavidez is going to put a beating
Okay,
on him.
just a quick one. When have you seen Billy Joe Saunders do that?
He did that plenty times against Canelo. I mean, like, he's going to have to stand and fight eventually, and then when that happens, he's going to get beat up.
I think the thing is, Rare Breed, there's a lot of ifs. I'm talking about things that have actually been done. Yeah.
Also, you can't ignore the size difference.
The size difference is true. I'll give you that one. The size difference is true, but boxing is a game of skill, and Billy Joe Saunders is far more skilled than Benavidez.
Do you want me to tell you the truth? Let me tell you guys the truth. Look, I've seen the same shit, the same thing with Earl Spence and Crawford fans. They'll say Jaron Ennis hasn't fought anybody. Why? Like, what makes you think who he's fought can give guys like Earl Spence trouble just based off his resume? But I'll tell you one thing: if you ask the fighters themselves, they'll tell you that Jaron Ennis and David Benavidez are the real deal.
No, but
so like you can use the resume all you want, but believe what your eyes are telling you.
Rare breed. Let me come at you on this one. Ennis is exceptional. I just told you there isn't any holes in his game. There, like the guy.
Every fighter has holes, and he's my favorite fighter. Every fighter has holes.
One sec, Rare breed. Jaron Ennis can switch to both stances, and he's good in both stances. He's got knockout power in both stances.
Yes.
He's a really good boxer. He's got fast stance. He's got one punch knockout power. He's got great footwork. How are we comparing Benavidez to Jaron Ennis? There's no comparison, bro.
No. I'm not comparing their talents because their talents are not on the same plane. What I'm saying is,
what you doing then?
Fans of certain fighters, when they see a young up and comer who's dangerous, they always try to downplay that young up and comer by saying, "Who has he fought?" or "He's fighting bums." It happens all the fucking time. I'm not comparing Jaron Ennis and
no, but hang on a minute. Benavidez is a good fighter. There's no doubt about it. But no, like I don't agree with that. Ennis and I don't think Benavidez is as a monster as what people are making him. He's a good fighter, but is he as good?
You know what? Forget it. Let's just say that Canelo beats him, which he definitely can. I want to see that fight just because I know it'll be more competitive than the last couple of guys he's been fighting outside of Bivol. You know?
You want to know why people are downplaying Benavidez?
Why?
Because they don't mind a Mexican.
Canelo fanboys.
They don't mind a Mexican as long as it's the Irish-looking one, right?
What?
No.
Here we go. Hey, I know who this guy is. Get him off the panel. He's about to bring that race baiting bullshit.
But why is he saying
come on, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, kick him off. Yeah. He's always race baiting when he joins.
Yeah.
No. Hey, who was that guy? What's his name? What's that guy's name?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's boxing. I don't know where he came. I don't know what's he doing.
He's just some sensitive fan. That's it.
Yeah. I think where Rare Breed's coming from. Yeah. And I think he's trying to keep the same energy about resume, and I can sort of see his point. I guess for me is Benavidez is probably the wrong example. Listen, he's a good fighter, but he's not all. Some fighters just aren't all that what they're meant to be. And I've seen it a lot with these stateside fighters. They build reputations very, very quickly, and they're supposed to be better than what they actually are, and they get exposed. And I just think that Benavidez is effective against a particular style. I think if somebody has angles and has a lot of lateral movement and they're durable, they'll give Benavidez a lot.
That's not Canelo. That's not Canelo. That's not his style, the lateral movement. He's actually considered pretty flat-footed.
That's true. That's true. But Canelo still can use angles, particularly on the inside. His head movement's on point, and he can pivot his upper body really well.
Well, this is my theory. This is like Canelo of the old, maybe. I believe Canelo, his body is starting to wear down. He's had like over 60-plus fights. All those training camps. Yeah. He's been fighting since he was, what, 14, 15, I guess, professionals?
15 as a pro, yeah.
That's 16, 15 plus years of like training camps, fights. Like the body begins to wear down. So he's 31, but he's probably like 34 in like boxing age.
Maybe even
So
older. Maybe even older.
so you don't want to fight against a young man with better reflexes than you, which he does, better hand speed than you, and he's a bigger man than you. That's a dangerous fight for Canelo.
Hey, Red Breed, let me say something because I'm about to get off, man. Man, by the way, man, y'all great, man. I'm enjoying just listening. But man,
It's
check
good
it
to hear
out,
your
man.
voice, Stephen.
Man, it's good hearing you too, man. I've been missing you, man. I've been missing you. But here's the thing, man. Too, man. I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Ray, a little bit about
Go on.
Wavy David Benavidez, man. I think, man. Listen, man. I think they never should have. The moment they made that fight with Mew and they stuck him in there to get savagely beaten like that by a killer like David Benavidez. That was that. I knew something was in the game now. Okay, but I'm telling you, this is something I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet if they are crazy enough to make that fight between him and Canelo, I'm willing to bet my last bottom dollar that David Benavidez will put a tremendous, and I mean a tremendous beating on Canelo because he just I mean he just man he just I mean he don't really need to be at 168. I think they need to force him to move up to 175 or to make him fight Real Jr. That way we can really, but he's too much of a killer at 168. Nobody, with the exception of David Morrell Jr. is beating that guy as well. He is just an incredible, unadulterated, cold-blooded killer, man.
Yep. The only David Morrell, that's another guy Canelo would be a fool to fight.
Yeah,
He
That's what I'm
might be
saying.
the most skilled guy at 168, David Morrell.
That's what,
Watch
man.
him
That's what I
fight.
was saying, man. And that's what I was saying, though. I said Canelo, he put himself in a conundrum when he lost the bill because where are you gonna go down? You know, you got killers at 175, you got killers at 168. Imran, Ray, Makai, come on, man. I'm with y'all, man. Y'all just reach into your heart. Just reach into your heart and put it out here and say, Steve, listen, I understand what Steve's saying. Canelo is in a really bad predicament. It's not taking anything away from Canelo, but he's just in a bad predicament. Go ahead.
I don't,
Nah,
Stephen.
I'm alright.
I think me, Ray, and Makai, we don't think the guys at 168 that you're mentioning beat Canelo. That's the thing. We think that the fact that he fought Bivol, everyone thought Bivol was going to be a tough fight, and Bivol's an exceptional talent, but we don't think the guys at 160 or 168 represent that kind of threat. Am I right,
That
Ray?
guy Morrell has a higher ceiling than a Bivol. You'll see soon. Morrell is super talented. He was probably the best. What is he, Cuban?
Yeah,
They
I
say he's
think
the best Cuban amateur probably ever.
No, I wouldn't say ever. I mean, you had was it Felix
He's up
someone?
there.
They've had
You
loads
know,
of great
he
amateurs.
He's got
loads
great boxing
loads
skills
of
and he's got
heavyweights.
power.
They've had
Rigon Hall,
Rigondao,
and the guy
Kindlin,
that fought Amir Khan, Mario
Kindlin,
Kindelan.
yeah.
Well, that's what I read
And
yesterday. They said that
Andy LaCruz, the lightweight.
Yeah, that guy's a monster.
He's very yeah.
Well,
So
Eddie
we
there's
haven't
the
seen the
Cuban
fight in the
Cruz,
side.
pros
yeah.
He's
yet,
very
so let's
good.
slow down on Andy Cruz. But they're saying that David Morrell is up there in terms of the Cuban amateurs, but like he brings
He's
great
probably
boxing
top
skills
10.
with great power.
He's probably top 10, and I would agree that he probably has a better ceiling than Dimitri Bivol. But let's not sleep on Dimitri Bivol, who himself is an outstanding amateur. It's a lot of the problem. I think people don't
If
know
you
what.
if you put David Morrell in there with Caleb Plant, he would beat the dog shit out of Caleb Plant.
Yeah, he would.
promise you.
Yeah, he would. But this is the problem, Red Reed and Stephen. A lot of these guys at 68 aren't fighting each other, and what it leaves is a
Well,
lot of what
he's got
ifs.
5 fights, so he can't control that.
Yeah, but I'm on about the likes of who we were talking about before, Benavidez, Plant. I want to see more from this Edgar Berlanga. I want to see more from him. There's other guys who could shoot a middleweight, and you think,
Well,
hang on,
yeah.
I mean, when you look at the rankings doesn't smack you with a lot. I mean, in the UK, there's a guy called Imran are known well. Lerone Richardson, he's in the rankings. He's in the Ring Magazine top 10. And you know, I nearly fell off my chair. He's good, but he's not really a top 10 in the world, is he? Really?
No, he hasn't really fought anybody, has he?
He did beat Gongora, to be fair. That's a good win.
Yeah, Gongora's a good win, but
that's a pretty good win.
It's
but that's it. That's
he
like
put that guy in the hospital.
It's not. He shouldn't. A guy like Lerone Richards wouldn't be in anyone's top 10 here, but yet he's in the Ring Magazine, which we all respect. He's in the Ring Magazine top 10, and this is what I mean. I mean, you've got people like Zach Parker thinking that if he had beaten Demetrius Andrade, which he wouldn't have done, he would have got a shot at Canelo. I mean, why not have Zach Parker against Andrade and the winner faces Caleb Plant? That makes more sense than putting him in with Canelo. These guys for the page,
a matchroom fighter or the zone fighter fighting a PBC fighter.
It's almost like they'll take one
highly unlikely,
and all of a sudden they want Canelo.
Yeah. Well, the Canelo, that's what happens when you're the man or the cash cow, if you want to say. Everybody wants you. Like, it comes with the territory.
Yeah,
Floyd was like that. They try to make Floyd fight Triple G at 160, which is crazy, but it happens.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Benavidez is fighting Plant anyway. In like around like November. I mean, I heard he has like 3 options. Either like Plant, Morel, or Charlo. Either of those 3.
Yeah. They don't like each other, Caleb Plant and Benavidez.
Or Charlo and Benavidez.
I think
they don't like each other either.
Yeah, I think the Benavidez.
Didn't I see the Charlo twins and the Benavidez boys having a bit of a dust up at the end of was it Ugas fence?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, Charlo went over to talk shit to his dad, and then Benavidez came in and pushed him, and it started like a whole ruckus.
I've seen a clip. I've seen a little clip of it. He scared the life out of Charlo. There's literally when I think it happened when Isaac Cruz was fighting. You literally see it happening. Charlo, he's like talking crap to his dad, and then Benavidez pushes him, and Charlo looks at him. He walks back and literally goes right behind the security guard. He completely shits it. Honestly,
that'd be a
seen
good fight.
it.
That'd be a good fight. Mal Charlo against Benavidez, because Mal Charlo.
That would be a good fight. But there's only 3 ways that fight happens. 1, Benavidez beats the shit out of Jamal Charlo. 2, it's a war, and it goes either way, and neither fighter's never the same again.
Yeah.
And 3, actually no, that's the only way. 2 ways I see it. Yeah, because that's why Charlo doesn't want that fight. Because whether he wins or loses, he's going to take a lot of punishment in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I mean, I think that's a good fight. I'll be honest, Charlo, he can win that. I don't know why he's avoiding that fight.
He can.
That's a fight he can win. I think that's the most competitive. It's definitely a lot more competitive than the Plant fight. I think Benavidez destroys Plant.
Yeah, I think he doesn't want to go through it because, like I just said, he'll have to go through hell. He'll have to go through hell to win that fight.
That's the whole point, though, man. I mean, when you take these kind of fights,
but if you want to go through hell, wouldn't you rather do it with Canelo and get like a $60 million payday, but like a $12 million payday, whatever Canelo would offer him?
Canelo's never going to face him. Canelo's never going to face him.
Fights lined up.
Canelo will rather face Charlo. I guarantee you rather face Charlo than Benavidez.
He was going to fight Charlo. He was actually going to fight him. I'm pretty sure.
Honestly, that'd be a perfect way. If you beat Charlo, nobody's gonna remember the Bivol fight. Like, people can just say, "Oh, he tried to go for legacy. Guy was too big." Cool. He went down to 68 and beat a great fighter in Jamal Charlo. He'll get a lot of credit for that.
I think what we're seeing with Canelo is he needs to stay in his lane. This is what I was saying. I was getting laughed at on Imran's channel a few months back. When Canelo fought Kovalev, he was getting outboxed, in my opinion. Kovalev's jab was doing the work and winning the rounds. It was only when Kovalev began to tire that all of a sudden Canelo came alive. So that told me he can't really live at 175. Now, he's went up and played to him. He hasn't cherry-picked. He's fought arguably the best or second best fight at 175, but he fought somebody who could move his feet, was fit, was at his prime, and had quick hands and could punch. So that was a recipe for disaster. So it was only going one way, which is why I said that Bivol would win that fight handedly, and I think he did. Imran saw my scorecard, so I'm not lying. When I scored the fight, Imran seen it. Now, I think that Canelo probably should be thinking, he probably may not, but should be thinking to stay away from 175, because I don't think he's going to have much success at 12 stone 7 unless he cherry picks an opponent who's got a belt, which is probably why
what's sad?
he wanted Mukabu rather than fighting someone. He wouldn't have fought Lawrence Okoli because Lawrence Okoli was all wrong for him stylistically, but he chose to fight Mukabu at cruiserweight. So that just tells you Canelo's concept up at the higher weights.
But yeah, I think I'm going to say it again. I think Canelo saw that fight as a win-win. Also, he knew that Bivol couldn't knock him out. So as long as he kept it competitive, the judges would have given him the fight. But he couldn't even do that. That's why he lost. He should have lost by unanimous decision.
I had him losing by a good few rounds.
I gave him like one round.
I think Imran, how many rounds did I give Canelo? Was it 2 or 3?
Yeah, 3, I think.
I gave Canelo 2.
That's generous.
No, he did unanimous, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
No, it was 7-5, wasn't it?
No, yeah, that's unanimous, man.
Yeah, Bivol won all 7-5, which is
that's too damn close to me.
Unanimous means 3 judges give it to the same fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you're thinking of is it was a close fight. Unless you mean Bivol won 120-108, which means he won every single round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's insane about that is if he let's say he rematches Bivol, in the first fight, in reality he won like two rounds if you're being really generous and 3.
Yeah.
And the fight was only scored 7-5. He literally had to win the 12th round and it would have been a draw. So in the rematch, he just needs to do a little bit better and he gets the decision. That's how bad it really is.
That's crazy.
That's why he might take the rematch.
But I think the ice has been broken, right? Because he's now not been given a decision. So now the judges have gone against him. So I think if next time they could go against him again. If they've gone against him once, they can go against him again now.
Yeah.
They tried to give it to him, but he couldn't make it competitive.
The thing is, Imran, it's going to change how Canelo boxes, because if he becomes more aggressive against Bivol, he gets picked off quicker. It's not going to end well for him.
Ray, what do you think Canelo needs to do? You think he needs to increase his output?
I think he needs to be smarter. He clearly hasn't got quick feet. He clearly can't get inside Bivol's jab, right? And Bivol has got a good jab, but not a great jab. And the body shots that Canelo's been famed for had no real effect on Bivol. So what I think he needs to do is, I think he needs to make sure that he times and he feints on Bivol's jab a lot better than what he does. He's got to instill some lateral movement in his game, because that's how he's going to have to use his right hand to get that the counter over the double jab. Because
I know they fight.
Bivol's double jab was such that he would land it, take a step back, then land his right hand. It was like what St. Ewan, man, and the lads in the Facebook group from the boxing fans Facebook group.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen a career where he's been on the ropes and he's being peppered, but those shots are landing? It's rare. You've seen people throw combinations at Canelo, but then he blocks them, or he moves them out. He moves out the way. That he wasn't doing that against Bivol. Those shots were landing. He was getting bullied on the inside, and usually it's the other way around. Canelo's the bully. So for me, it's almost like, it's not as bad as Joshua Usyk in terms of it's going to be very difficult for him to turn around, but in the same sense, it's a mammoth task, because if he increases his punch output, he'll probably leave himself wide open, and I don't think his stamina will allow him to throw that many punches at 175 and still be there throwing as many punches in chip rounds. So he has to be cute to work, because he was throwing a lot of single shots, but Bivol could see them coming, and usually it's the other way around. the smaller fighter is the quicker fighter who can take a bigger shot from the bigger man, but it was the other way around. I just don't think Canelo's as effective at 175 as he is at 168 and 160. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, probably have to agree. Maybe I even suggest that maybe he needs to come in lighter. Even though
Yes,
fights at one.
yes, I would agree.
Take a
You
bit.
know, I know they fight in different weight classes, but a guy like Jaron Ennis will be a nightmare for Canelo.
Yeah, I would agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would make Canelo reset too many times to the
Yeah.
point where Canelo probably wouldn't be throwing any punches at all. He would just be walking around the ring, and Ennis would just be picking him off. So I would completely agree with that point, Redbury.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
you
he's got
guys
that high guard.
really rate the Ennis, don't you?
Yeah,
No,
I know it sounds
think Ennis is
crazy.
a very no,
I don't.
No,
I usually don't rate. Go ahead, bro.
I was just about to say, just quickly, I can't see anybody at 147 beating this kid Ennis right now.
What about Ortiz? Do you not think that's a good fight, or do you think he destroys them?
I think he wipes out Ortiz within, I say, 2-3 rounds, because Ortiz is very open. Ortiz is gung ho. Ortiz is at his best when he's vulnerable and when he's on shots. He's a bit of an Amir Khan about him, but his chin's far better.
The problem with Ortiz is he's not used to being in a ring with a guy with the same kind of firepower and speed that he has. But then you add on top of it that the guy he's facing might have more power and more skills. It's not a good combination. Like, I think he has a great jab though. Yeah, he got wobble back, but to be fair, Kavalauskas hurt proper too. Yeah.
Yeah, Kavaliauskas fighter. Now I think with the same shots Kavaliauskas caught Ortiz, if that's coming from Ennis, Ortiz isn't getting back up. Ortiz is going into a shell. He's not firing back from the shots.
He used the tight guard. He doesn't actually get in that Kavaliauskas fight. I don't really thought he got hit as much as people thought he did.
This is why I'm saying he's a bit Amir Khan like. When Amir Khan throws his combinations, he never brought his hands up. When you go to a boxing gym, one of the first things they tell you, apart from getting your jab and your stand sorted, is when you're throwing a shot to bring your hand up. Okay? Now, Amir Khan, when he's throwing his shots, he didn't do that. And people timed him and they hurt him. I see similarities with Ortiz. He doesn't have the weak chin that Amir Khan has. He can be quite vulnerable. And when you look at Kavaliauskas timed him.
And he throws everything with power. Like every shot is the same rhythm. Power.
I rate Ortiz personally.
I do too.
I think he's fundamentally very good. He's always got his hands up and everything. I think he's a good boxer too. He's got power. I mean, he's not the same size as Ennis, obviously. Ennis is bigger. But I think that's a really good fight. Honestly, I really do think that's a good fight. You know, because we haven't seen Ennis, you know, in there with a fight like Ortiz, and especially a guy who can punch like Ortiz. And obviously the same with, I mean, well, he did fight Kavaliauskas, but you guys probably, I mean, I don't really know it's harder between Kavaliauskas and Ennis, but yeah, I just feel he's more proven there and everything. And Ennis, he has got flaws as well. Every fighter's got flaws. Like all these guys have got flaws. He's not invincible.
No, he's not invincible, but he doesn't have to be invincible. He's still better, in my opinion, than all the other guys. So like as far as the young fighters go, there's only two that I see as generational talents, and that's Shakur Stevenson and Jaron Ennis. The rest of the guys are below that. That includes Virgil, Van Rodriguez, Devin Haney.
How about Red Breed? How about Keyshawn Davis?
He's close to being on that, but I need to see a little bit more from him. But Keyshawn Davis, to me, is more talented than Devin Haney. He might be even more talented than Shakur Stevenson. That's how high I rate Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah.
But he's close.
Going to be very, very special. Keyshawn Davis.
What about Janabek? He's not really known, to be fair, but he did fight yesterday.
Yeah,
he's really, really good too.
Huh?
he fight Danny Dignam? Was it Danny Dignam he beat?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Danny Dignam. He was. He was no match for him.
I mean,
but
Mackay,
beautiful uppercut.
Mackay, you could run from down the way you want to Newcastle and back, and probably still beat Dignam.
I mean, but like Danny Dignam, I mean, that's basically the guy's flipping boots is really fine if you think about it. I mean, but Janabek, he did beat Rob Brant. Rob Brant. He's not that good, but that guy was still ranked. It's just how Janabek looks as well. I think he's good, man.
I think there's a lot of these Eastern Europeans that are really, really difficult. There's a guy at heavyweight I really like. He was in the Olympics. He's called Beck.
He's 29 years old.
You see, that's the thing with Eastern Europeans. They turn pro later. They're not like the guys come from the UK, guys come from the States. They turn pro later on because they put more into the amateur pedigrees.
Yeah.
He's technically in his prime.
How old's Janabek?
He's 29.
Janabek's 30,
He's 29. Wow, I thought he was like 20.
No.
26 something, 25. If I'm
no.
He's 29.
These Kazakhs, Eastern Europeans, they turn pro late because they've got a really good amateur programs.
Yeah.
Is he really considered a prospect? He's too old.
Well, for me now,
the number of fights that you've had rather than the age. That's my opinion. I might be wrong, but that's how I see it. Because if you look at someone like tennis, he's 24, but he's had 26 fights. Usually, if you had 26 fights, you've had a world title fight. You see what I mean?
He's had a lot of promotional issues.
Yeah, okay, but like for me, a prospect, someone like Keyshawn Davis, less than 10 fights.
I don't consider Bruce a prospect. He's a contender at this point.
Yeah, I would agree. When I was going at, I would agree.
Yeah, but like I don't know, man. I don't think I see anything like him in a while. It's kind of like a bigger version of Pretty Boy Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
I think Floyd didn't have the kind of this guy's switch. He can switch. He can fight in both stances. He's got power in both stances. Crawford can fight in both stances, but Crawford's more dominant in the southpaw stance. With Ennis, I don't know what stance he's good at. I think he's as equally as good as southpaw.
He's ambidextrous.
Hey,
he's ambidextrous. He's ambidextrous. He can do. It's just as good as on his left. This is what he is on his right.
That's what I mean. So, whereas Crawford's more dominant in that southpaw stance, when he goes into that southpaw stance, he batters you. But in that,
Imran, let me. Can I say something real quick? I don't mean to interrupt, man, but I'm listening in the chat, man. Do you have the ability to make like moderators? Because you need to get some mods in them because. This dude Trigger X, man, you need to block him, man. He doing a whole bunch of he's doing a whole bunch of race baiting going on. So man, if you can, man, in the near future, man, see if you can get some moderators to kind of cut some of this stuff down, man.
Yeah.
That's how
I'll get it sorted, man. I haven't been in the chat. Is he talking nonsense?
Yeah. I'm not even looking at the chat. I don't even know what he's doing.
He's race baiting.
Look, once this
yeah.
I can have a look at what.
Okay, that's all I want. I'm listening.
Yeah, basically, Stephen.
Yeah.
We didn't speak about boots, man. We didn't finish off.
I know, man. I'm about to go to the movies.
Are you going?
I'm about to go catch a movie. I'm gonna go to.
We'll do it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the movie with my wife, man, real quick.
No
but
worries.
I want to look in though.
No worries, man. We'll speak soon.
All right, yeah, but I'll talk to you later, man. See if you can get the moderators for these clowns in the audience.
Yeah, I will, man. I will.
All right, y'all take it easy.
All right, bro. So Cameron Duncan, the dude who's Jaron Ennis' manager, he's the one to discover Crawford. He's the first one to sign Crawford. They basically asked him to compare the two, and he said that I like Crawford. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, but Jaron Ennis is one of those guys that comes around every 20 years, like Sugar Ray Leonard or Roy Jones type. So like, either this kid is the biggest hype job of all time, or all these people that are around him are telling the truth. And off of the eye test so far, I would agree. He's
Yeah, he does
special.
look good. He does look
Danny
good.
Garcia won't even spar with him, and he lives down the street.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah. He says he has a hard time finding sparring. What is it? Showtime, like the guy, what's his name? Clayton that he just fought. Remember when he was spotting him after the fight?
Yeah. Mm.
He said that they forced me to fight you, or I had no choice but to fight you. So
Mm, yeah.
he might be one of those guys that has trouble finding opponents even when he becomes champion.
Mm. But
Yeah.
like you said, man, Rare Breed, if this guy doesn't turn out to be a formidable
The
champion,
goods.
might be one of the biggest hype jobs since Jeff Lacey from America, man.
Yeah. But you know, it's almost a can't miss prospect because if you follow him, like all he does is be in the gym. I don't
Yeah,
know if
that's
you've
the
seen his
thing, man.
if you've seen his Twitter, it's the same thing every single day. 15 rounds of sparring. I ran 12 miles today, or not 12 miles, but ran like 5 miles today, something like that. It's same thing every single day. And then Sunday, going to church. And like they say, he doesn't really do anything outside of boxing. So
Yeah, he looks dedicated. He looks dedicated, he's good, man. He is good. There's no doubt about
yeah,
it. And if he stays dedicated and humble, and he's a humble kid as well. Like he comes across really well. Like he
yeah.
comes.
I mean, yeah, because a lot of guys are dedicated. Don't get me wrong. A lot of guys work hard, but they don't have the talent to go with it.
Yeah, that's
But
what
when
I'm
you
telling
when you
Ray.
have both,
Most fighters blow up in weight after their fight. You know,
yeah.
a lot of fighters do that.
That's
That's
what
Earl
why their
Spence,
weight
That's
cuts.
what I was
Yeah,
telling Ray
I
earlier.
think he stopped doing it now though. But yeah,
Me and
yeah,
Ray were having this discussion on Messenger, right? And basically, we were talking about Boatsi and Khan, for example. And I was saying to Ray that Boatsi's talent level or talent base level is a lot lower than what Khan is. So Khan wasn't dedicated. It's going to be hard for Boatsi to reach Khan's level because he doesn't have the talent that Khan had. Even if he's
yeah.
dedicated, it's going to be tough for him. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's the difference between special fighters and like good fighters. Like a lot of
But at the
guys
end of
have
the day,
talent, they don't have the dedication.
Ricky, what talent did Ricky Burns have? But he had the hard work and dedication, and he became a
Yep.
freeweight world champion.
When you have both, that's when you get a Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
And that's what I was saying to Imran, and that's exactly what I said to Imran. When you have both,
Yeah.
you become the very best. But usually,
Yep.
hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yes.
But the thing is, all these guys that are talented, yeah, some of them don't work as hard, some of them off, but they all at a point in their careers have worked hard to get to the level that they got to. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. But it's hard to
Imran,
maintain, especially when you get some money.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Imran, I don't know if Rare Breed will know who this kid is, but back in the day when I'm talking about when Jose Benavidez was about 15, 16, 17 when he was coming through, there was a lot of talk in America about Jose Benavidez and another kid called Frankie Gomez. Yeah. Frankie Gomez was with Golden Boy and Benavidez was with Top Rank. And these two kids had a rivalry like something you've never seen before. Like in football terms, it was like Celtic and Rangers, you know, between the Latino community. And Frankie Gomez was one of the most gifted boxers I'd ever seen as a kid growing up. He was something else. He was like a pit bull. I think that was even his nickname. But for whatever reason, he got involved with gangs and all that kind of stuff. He was getting a lot of stereotype. There was a lot of stereotype about him, calling him, gang banger and all this type of stuff. But then his career just dropped off. And this is what I mean. You get some really talented kids, it's particularly stateside, and you think, wow, this kid's something special. You get something like 8, 9 and all, then their environment or money issues or lack of motivation take over. It's a real hard sport like this. You haven't got like teammates to pick you up and cover for you when you're in a bad patch. It's not like football or basketball or American football. You're on your own. And this is the problem. So you need the talent, yeah, but you also need the mindset, the dedication, and hard work.
Yep.
You look at guys like Billy Joe and Kell Brook, for example. They were very, very, in terms of like, they didn't. I don't think they were ever dedicated. I don't think they were ever dedicated to the sport. You
I
know,
would
and
agree.
that
I would agree. I would
yeah.
say that Billy Joe got where he was simply on talent.
Mm,
If he was as dedicated as somebody like Carl Froch was, then you never know where he could have got up, because if you look at Carl Froch wasn't particularly talented.
no, he
You know,
wasn't.
he was hard as nails.
Mm,
He had a great chin, great stamina. He was strong, and he had a powerful right hand. But look
mm,
where he got to,
mm.
because he was dedicated. Look how talented James De Gea was,
Yeah.
and he was a two-time Olympic champion. Two-time world champion, single Olympic gold medalist, our first British Olympic gold medalist who's won a world title. But he
Mm,
should have achieved more. Amir Khan should have achieved more. Audley Harrison, Imran, should have achieved more.
mm.
And then you
Yeah.
look at people like Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton wasn't very talented, but
No, no.
he worked hard.
I
Is
would
that
say, Ray,
something?
about Carl Froch and Hatton, Ray. I would
Yeah.
say this, what they could achieve. Like, they couldn't achieve anything more, in the sense that
No, they
they got every
overachieved.
little ounce out of that lemon. Do you know?
Yeah. I would agree. I think Ricky Hatton and Carl Froch definitely overachieved,
Yeah. They
and
got
I think Amir Khan underachieved.
yeah. Even though what Amir Khan achieved was great, like in terms of British fighters, he achieved a lot. But for his talent, Ray, when he came out the Olympics at 17, with the silver medal, you think a guy that became unified world champion, he should have achieved a lot more, really.
Yeah, he should have been he should have been undisputed. Really,
Yeah, not just
he was
that, Ray.
that talented.
I think he had the potential of being an all-time great, really. You know, and he didn't get to, in my opinion.
I don't know about all-time great, but he definitely. I mean, he should have been a multiple.
Oh yeah.
Multiple
But
weight champion. So yeah.
I mean, all-time great. Like Miguel Cotto's an all-time great. Like.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you were on about
like he could have been about that level of fight. You know what I mean,
yeah. He could have done, but he didn't have that mindset that they had. I think he liked the celebrity status a little bit too much. But that's what I mean, and I think that's a problem that's always been in boxing since the Queensberry rules began, and it's not going to change.
Yeah. That to be honest, yeah, some careers were sad, man. They didn't really reach their full. But to be honest, Ray, that's probably majority of boxers. That's probably majority of boxers we're talking about that probably don't achieve the top or don't achieve what they should achieve. There's a lot of boxers like that. Majority of them. Not to say
there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them, but I do think a lot of you got to remember there's only a small percentage. A lot of boxers in it, particularly, I would imagine in the US as well, still have second jobs, mate. Do you know what I mean? There's very few boxers when you think about it that do it as a full-time job. So when you think about it, there's even fewer that earn the type of money that Tyson Fury, Mayweather, Pacquiao, Amir Khan earn. I mean, look how good Keith Taylor is in Serrano. Look at the money that they're bringing in.
Yeah, I think they made like $1 million each, didn't they, for their fight? And
that's not enough for their talent. Yeah, look at Carl Froch. He wasn't very talented. I know other people tell you otherwise. Yet he was taking home 8 figures.
But Ray, here's the thing. You know the thing when you say about the talent, isn't it about who is like sports about entertainment in terms of what you can draw in terms of viewership and audience. So Carl Froch and guys like that, because they were getting a lot of money because a lot of people wanted to watch them. Is Katie Taylor and Serrano got that kind of pull where a lot of people are watching them like that?
Well, from what I saw, bearing in mind I was on holiday when the fight was going on. When I saw that fight today, looking at Madison Square Garden, I would argue yes. Because Katie Taylor's not from New York. I know there's some Irish people living there or people from Irish heritage, but she was getting just as loud a cheers as what Serrano was getting, and Serrano was born there. So I would say yes.
But what about the views?
You could make an argument that this is kind of a golden age in boxing a little bit with the young talent that's coming through. Obviously, they need to fight each other, but I don't know. I feel like we're in a good time in boxing.
What, for men's, women's, or all of it?
All of it, like even the heavyweights, has gotten like a little bit more exciting. I mean, there was a point where the heavyweight division was dead. Let's be
It
real.
was.
Yeah. Now, like the welterweights is on fire. The lightweights are on fire. I mean, even 75 is exciting. People usually don't give a fuck about 75. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, 75 is one of my favorite divisions because they can all punch.
Yeah.
They can all punch.
Yeah.
You know,
In my
can all...
personal opinion, 47 is my favorite division because, like, they have the speed of the little guys, but like the power of the bigger weight classes. You know what I mean?
I think
So it's
that's the money division, isn't it? Really, in the past, because you had Mayweather, Pacquiao. For me personally, it's always been between, you know, like you said, welterweight and middleweight. Now I'm leaning towards the lightweights. I'm always like lightweights. I've always felt as though there's always been good, exciting fighters in lightweights that have come up to welterweight. From Mayweather to De La Hoya, Mosley, etc. There's always been a very good lightweight every 5 years. There's always been a very good lightweight, and there's some good lightweights now. But at the end of the day, I do, in a sense, I do agree that there's some real good fights to be made. I mean, this year we've had some cracking fights alone, and I think what's made it special, and since the pandemic, is women's boxing's come on as well, which probably in the UK has drawn a lot of crowds, and there's been a lot of exciting fights. And I'm hoping it's going to be the same for you guys in the States, particularly when we get the big fight this year between Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall. I think that's going to be really a very good fight. We've had Serrano, Taylor, and I think Shields and Marshall is just going to put
that should be bigger than Taylor, because Clarissa's going to sell that fight, because unlike those two, they're not friendly with each other.
Yes,
and
also there's a race as well, isn't there? Which
unfortunately, yes, with it being in the UK,
UK versus US, there's always a good rivalry.
Yeah. But these type of things, like Ray said, unfortunately, the race thing plays a big thing. Like, people aren't neutral in this game. They don't really pick on skill. They pick on race and background. Stuff. I don't really like.
Nobody wants to talk about it, but that's boxing.
If that fight happens where I'm from, up in the northeast, I mean, I would go, but I would struggle to go to that fight because of that. Because I would feel, you know, the way I am, my type of person sitting there straight away. Because I mean, I'm picking Shields to win. I'm picking Shields to win because I think she's far more skilled than what Marshall is, and I think she's underrated by a lot of people in the UK. I think Marshall's overrated by a lot of people in the UK. I don't think Marshall's fought anyone on a level Shields has, and I think you'll see the gap in skill on fight night. Don't get me wrong, there may be rocky times for Shields. There may be rocky times for Shields, but Shields will win. Go on.
Yeah. Dare I say it's like Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder in reverse? One's a big puncher. Yeah, one's a big puncher. The other one's more skilled.
Yeah, but that might be. Guys, Usyk, man, Usyk's been ring magazine pound for pound #1.
Yes, I saw that today. Yeah,
I have no problem with that.
Congratulations, son.
Fully deserved.
Yeah,
I like Usyk.
I think that's.
I think Usyk might be the only fighter in the world that's universally liked. Like, who hates Usyk?
Yeah, but I think that's a lot to do with what's going on, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Maybe because he's not in the screen enough, or he's not a big superstar. Maybe that's why.
I think he's a nice guy as well. He's a nice guy. I mean,
in terms of his boxing, he's not so like he's a really good boxer. So there's not a lot to dislike. He's a pretty good personality. He's a pretty cool guy.
He speaks English.
Yeah,
he's funny. He says funny comments like "I really feel." I really feel. He's energetic. Yeah, exactly. And he's not the best dancer in the world. He's got crazy haircuts. But I think you've got to respect him because of not just what he's done in the ring, but you've got to respect him from what he's gone through personally for his country outside the ring.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna win that rematch, guys?
He might
Wow.
use that as motivation to win against Joshua, or it could be a distraction.
No, I think he ruins Joshua this time round. Don't forget, I thought Joshua would ruin him this fight, the first fight. Sorry, remember I said that, Imran.
Yeah.
Remember, Makai, I said that.
Yeah, me and you was arguing about it, actually.
Yeah. And I apologize, Makai. Go easy on me.
This is boxing, man. This is boxing. Man.
I apologize, bro. But
My problem with
now I
Joshua.
think Usyk will win.
Yeah.
5 rounds.
The problem with Joshua is I don't think he has the heart. I don't want to accuse a heavyweight champion not having heart, but I don't think for him to beat Usyk, he needs to go through the fire. Like
He needs to fight down
stop trying to be cute. Yeah, stop
think
trying to
he'll
be
do it,
cute and
though.
box with Usyk. You need to try to walk him down and go for the knockout.
I think
Rebri,
he'll
That's the
do
only
it.
point.
I want to put this to you, D-Money. I'm going to come to you now. I know you've been there. D-Money. Actually, I'll come to D-Money before I go to D-Money. I'm coming to you. Paulie Malignaggi said that Canelo lacks heart. He basically said that Canelo didn't bite down on the gum shield against Dimitri Bivol and Floyd Mayweather, and he let it go through the motions. Do you think Joshua's a bit like that?
Yeah,
I don't know about Canelo, but
think
Joshua
Joshua-
maybe.
No, but that's what Paulie Malignaggi said about Canelo. He said when it push came to shove against Floyd Mayweather, he didn't really bite down on the gum shield. And same with Bivol, he didn't bite down on the gum shield. Do you think, firstly, do you think right about Canelo? And do you think
No.
like that?
No, the problem with the Floyd Mayweather fight wasn't lack of heart. He couldn't do anything to Floyd. He tried everything.
True.
He had no answers.
True.
Yeah, I think with Bivol, he was in a similar situation where it seems to me like he just kind of got caught off guard. He didn't know that Bivol was gonna be what he was in the ring, and I think he really didn't have any answers again.
Yeah, I
but
mean, like
he could have
go
went
ahead.
out on his field. And I know like a lot of Mexican fans are saying that, you know what I'm saying? Like if you think you're losing the fight, you got to go out on your shield type of thing. And he didn't do that. But I think it was more of a, he just didn't have any answers. And Bivol, like, what was he going to do? You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
What about
Joshua, yeah, I think there's something that annoys me with Joshua with that because he's so gifted and talented as far as his natural build and athleticism. But yeah, it just seems like in some of these fights, he just like where's the drive? Where's that killer? But I think in the rematch though, I think he's gonna come back a little better, sort of like with Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna come back much better. So I think Usyk's gonna have a different Joshua on his hands that night.
Ray, do you think Usyk stops him this time?
Yeah. Because I think what will happen is you'll probably see a more aggressive Usyk, and you'll probably see a more aggressive Anthony Joshua. Now, although I said an aggressive Anthony would have won against Usyk, and I still think that. I think the problem is Usyk could probably be armed with a better game plan to target him and make good work of Anthony Joshua's stamina. What I mean is you'll target his body. I think he'll do a lot of work to. He didn't really do that in the first fight, but believe me, he'll do that in the second fight. I think he'll slow Joshua down and then pick him off.
You think?
Fury? Yeah, Fury is going to stay retired depending on who wins this fight. If Joshua wins, if Joshua wins, he's coming out of retirement for that big mega fight.
I think he comes out regardless. I don't think he's. I know Imran says that Usyk beats Fury. I don't think he does. I think at the end of the day, he looks at it and thinks this fight's worth a lot of money. It's for all 4 belts, heavyweight belts. It makes a lot of money. He just comes out. Even his own wife says he comes out of retirement.
Well, let's be
real.
real.
The problem with Fury, I just want to say this real quick, right? I think the problem with Fury isn't boxing per se. I think there's a lot of things that's gone on with this guy called Daniel Kinahan. And I think Tyson Fury's sick of it. This whole MTK sort of talk. I think he's sick of it. And he's had these issues with depression and drugs and all that. And I think this Daniel Kinahan situation's come up. And I think, you know what it is, I'm done. And I know that from that interview he gave Sky when he's fine. As soon as I asked him a question about Daniel Kinahan, he went off on it and he just terminated the interview. I just think he's just sick of the circus and the politics that comes out. But believe me, if he's been offered a fight with Usyk for more than 100 million for all 4 belts, whether that's in the UK or Saudi Arabia, he's taking that.
Possibly. Possibly. I just don't. Fury knows that fight.
Yeah, rare breed. Hey, rare breed echoing. Rare breed, you echoing, I think.
Rare breed, have you got your?
What happened?
I think you're echoing.
Oh, I might need to step out.
Yeah, if you step out and come back. Yeah. So, yeah, man. I here's the thing, Ray. I don't know whether Fury looks at Usyk and thinks that is it a fight that I really need? You know what I mean? It's a fight that really I haven't got anything to gain. What's he got to gain? You know what I mean?
Say that again, sorry.
Like, I don't really think Fury's got a lot to gain by fighting Usyk. I think he's got a lot more to lose. And Fury probably looks at it and thinks, "Oh man, do I really need this in my life? Like, if I fight him and I get beat, then all I built up is gone. If I everyone already perceives me as a consensus best fighter of this generation. Do you know what I mean? At heavyweight. So why do I have to fight this guy that's going to be awkward, tricky, and potentially make me look bad? I don't need him. Do you know what I mean?
Because you can easily beat him.
But do you think he's good? Do you think he's gonna want to? He thinks that. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Deontay Wilder was more imposing and more frightening than Usyk. And he fought Deontay Wilder 3 times.
I agree. But Usyk's a lot more trickier. He's a lot better boxer. So it's a different stylistic fight. Do you know what I mean?
But he's not going to get knocked out. He's not going to get knocked out, is he? I think boxers are probably more fear getting knocked out more than being outclassed. I think Fury be different. It's very difficult to be outclassed. It's potentially possible, but I wouldn't say it's likely. I mean, you know, we're talking about the basic skills of boxing here, and Fury's tall. He's got quick feet. He can get in and out of range. He hasn't got the flaws that Joshua has. So I think he's probably looking at it thinking, you know, I can have success against Usyk.
But
I think he'll be surprised him, and I think he takes the fight.
You know, do you think so? You know how you obviously think Fury beats Usyk. Could you see a scenario? Could you see a scenario where Usyk outboxes Fury?
Good question. Outboxes him.
Like, I think he does enough to win on points, kind of thing. Because we'll agree that he's not going to stop Fury, right?
He's well. To be fair, I would say he's probably got a better chance of stopping Fury than outboxing him, simply because people forget that Fury's been put down by lesser punches before. He got put down by Steve Cunningham, who was a cruiserweight. And Usyk, you could argue, could still probably make cruiserweight, but Usyk definitely hits harder than what Steve Cunningham has. So I think he's got a better chance of stopping him. Usyk's 6'2". Am I right?
3, I think.
Mikhail, no. 6'3". Okay, 6'3". Tyson Fury's how tall? 6'9". 6'7". 6'9".
Yeah, he's 6'9". Yeah.
6'9". With that reach, with that footwork. So you can see why I'm thinking it's going to be very difficult for Usyk, who's 6'3", to outbox somebody who's got quicker feet than him and quicker hands than him, who's taller than him by 6 inches.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, I don't know though. For some reason, I don't know. If anyone can outbox you.
Yeah, I would agree with that comment that out of all the heavyweights, the only person that's likely or who has a chance of outboxing someone like Tyson Fury would be Usyk. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Usyk has a good chance. It just means it's better than everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Amir Khan had a better chance of beating Mayweather than the likes of Victor Ortiz and Andre Bird or and all those guys. But it doesn't necessarily mean that Amir Khan would have beaten Mayweather.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on, Claude?
Hey, I'm good. I saw you online for a couple minutes. I'll say my two piece. Just on the Usyk Fury situation. I think Fury's too much. He's too much. I mean, Fury has shown that he has the chin, he has the power. He's gonna stop Usyk. He's gonna stop him. Like, he's gonna put him to sleep. Do you see Wilder is a big boy, and he took all of Wilder's shots and got up. He pounded Wilder as well. So I don't think Usyk has what it takes. Now, can he outbox him? I don't think he's gonna be able to. I don't think Usyk is gonna be able to avoid the inevitable one big or two big shots that Fury's gonna land, and he's gonna put him to sleep, or at least he's gonna stop him. I think Fury's just too much for Usyk.
I don't know about Fury's punching power like that. If he, that he's gonna put him to sleep, because Usyk is pretty slick fighter. He's not easy to hit, and he has got a pretty good chin. He hasn't really shown. He's never been down before, I don't think. And he's fought, Joshua. He got hit with a lot of big shots. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether he gets put to sleep like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, with
go on, Mackay.
Yeah, I was just about to say, with his, he's got the head movement, the footwork. He can get into the inside. He's got great body work, and he's always on you. He's always feinting and everything. He's gonna be there till the last bell, and I just think all that will give Fury problems, because when you look at the Steve Cunningham fight, the slick fight is very slippery and all that, very fast. You even saw with the Wallen fight, mixing up with combinations and stuff. I just think that kind of style would give Fury problems.
I think Fury catches him. I really do. I think he might not. Okay, if he doesn't stop him, I think Usyk's getting up off the mat for the first time with Fury. Fury punches, like, to put Wilder down is not an easy thing. To take Wilder's punches is not an easy thing. And Fury, after after those 3 fights with Wilder, I have a real respect for what he can do. I think his style of fight, it's a little bit, it's a little bit unorthodox. I don't think he's obviously not your typical fighter. He's not your typical body either for a fighter. But when it comes to what he does in the ring, I just think I don't think Usyk. I can't see Usyk beating him. I just can't.
I find it very hard for Fury to actually land a big punch on Usyk, though, to actually, to stop him, because obviously, he put Wilder down, but, Wilder, he's not good defensively. He doesn't have any footwork or anything. Like, he would actually have to land that on Usyk, and Usyk's a very hard guy to land clean on. And like with Fury as well, I don't really think he's that fast, like in that sense of him catching him and putting him down. I really don't think he's that fast like that. I don't think he is.
I don't think he's fast. I just think it just takes one punch to catch him.
What's Tyson? You need to help me out. Is it the uppercut?
It's the uppercut. And I think when a taller fighter is fighting a shorter fighter, particularly when the shorter fighter is going to come on the inside, because that's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to force the fight. Remember, he's going to have to be the aggressor. He's going to be over the uppercut, and Tyson Fury lands a very good uppercut.
I don't know, Ray. I don't know, man. Usyk. AJ, he also had a very good uppercut as well, and he never got to land that thing on Usyk.
That's true. It's true. Joshua does have a good uppercut, but Joshua never looked to throw that uppercut. Joshua never looked to build in feints to then throw the uppercut on the back of that lead hand or of the fight of you know what I mean, of a hook or anything like that.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury's got the skill set to bring that in play. He's psychologically in the ring IQ, he's completely different than Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua approaches a fight that we would have told him to approach it. Perhaps he would have done, but he didn't. And that's the thing. I get where you're coming from, but Tyson Fury's got the skill set and the IQ to disguise that uppercut before he throws it. Because Usyk's very intelligent. He's probably going to be the most intelligent fighter that Fury stepped in the ring with. There's no way Fury's fought a fighter on Usyk's level. And then you can argue the same. You could argue the same for Usyk, but Usyk will by far and away the best opponent Tyson Fury's faced.
Yeah,
Tyson Fury's only had one good opponent. Let's be honest.
I joined this late. I just want to ask: Did anyone or did you guys comment on what Bob Arum said about only his PBC fighters fighting against PBC opponents? So basically, we can't look forward to a Bivol Beterbiev matchup anytime soon. Did you guys catch that?
Arum
No,
has
I
been
didn't catch
saying
that, mate.
very weird stuff lately, man. Like he even said, Shakur Stevenson, he wanted to be undisputed. Arum literally basically said he doesn't want Stevenson to become undisputed, and he's now saying obviously that about Bivol. Like I don't really know what's going on with him, but he's been coming out with some weird stuff, man, in interviews.
That is what really both again. And I'm sorry I use this as my soapbox sometimes coming on here, Imran. So I apologize to you guys, but it's that kind of stuff that's wrecking it. Like everyone knows the Beterbiev Bivol fight is the fight that people are going to see should Beterbiev get past Joe Smith, right? And this guy's blocking. He's full out saying, he's just saying right away, yeah, no, we don't want our guys fighting on DAZN. No, we're not interested in that. So you're gonna block the people's will just because they're not going on your on your brand or on PBC.
That'd be ridiculous.
This is what I've got to say to you, Claude, mate. Eddie Hearn allowed Devin Haney to go and fight for the undisputed against Kambosos Jr. By Bob Arum's logic, Eddie Hearn didn't have to do that. And Eddie Hearn still gets a lot of stick. So what do these promoters do? They get stick for allowing their fighters on other people's platforms. And then when they don't do that, they get stick. I'm just playing devil's hit with you, Claude. What do you want Aaron to do? Because if his fighter goes on another platform and loses, Aaron's going to get the stick again.
So then, what's the answer? So what's the answer to get?
You gotta believe in your fighter to let them fight for undisputed. What you mean? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's the answers with the promoters, mate. I think it's with the governing bodies. I think if the governing bodies, the four governing bodies, get together and they start saying, a certain when a fighter gets a belt, unifications take priority. It takes out the promoter's hands. Right.
Yeah, there's no way that Bivol and Beterbiev aren't fighting for undisputed.
But Arum's just saying it. It will happen. And anyway, I think Bivol only got one last fight anyway with DAZN. There's no way he's staying with Hearn. I mean, there's no way in hell he's staying with Hearn. He'll probably go to Top Rank anyway.
So basically, what you guys are saying is Bivol's gonna do his maybe one more fight with Hearn. Then he has to go to PB. He has to go to PBC. Basically, he has to go to that platform so he can get the fight or become a free agent and sign a one-deal contract to get.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying he probably will do that.
Top rank, so he wouldn't sign with PBC. He'll go to Top Rank. But in my opinion, if you leave this decision with the governing bodies, then the likes of Hearn, Frank Warren, Oscar De La Hoya, all these guys, Bob Arum, it takes it out of their hands, and then they have no choice but to allow their fighter to make that fight. And then all the promoter does is negotiate the fee that the fighter gets paid.
Right.
That's my opinion, because these fights not being made are killing the sport. Because Spence and Crawford should have happened years ago. It should have happened years ago. And it's happening in the lower weights. For example, Inoue is fighting Nonito Donaire.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure that's going to be... Isn't that for the undisputed at bantamweight?
No, it's not for the undisputed. Isn't there one belt that's didn't one belt that Casemiro had. Now that's become vacant, and Paul Butler's got it.
Oh, Paul Butler's got it.
Yeah,
Is that bantamweight? Is it?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's for 3 of the 4 belts that they're fighting for.
Yeah,
That's for
yeah,
3
yeah.
of 4 belts. But no doubt they'll fight for the undisputed. Then you've had so yeah, I can see it happening because it's already happening. And what you see now in the last 18 months is there's more fights unified and undisputed. Have we had 2 or 3 fights with undisputed in the past 2 years? 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. And I joined late too, Imran. I didn't get to hear what you said. Do you still think Benavidez is a bum? You and Makai?
What? I don't think any of us ever called Benavidez a bum. What are you talking about?
No, I'm just playing. No, I think Makai, I think you get. But Imran, I know you don't like Benavidez.
I still don't rate him that highly.
He did look impressive. He did look impressive against Lemieux, but I mean it's Lemieux. I mean he's a punching bag now, man. Like he's not a bum, but he's just taking lumps these days, right? So I mean, until Benavidez steps in a ring I agree with what Imran. I think Imran, what you're saying is you want to see him against your plant. You want to see him against
exactly.
Someone who we know is a legitimate boxer at his weight class instead of feeding him like the second tier. And I kind of agree with that. As good as he looked with Lemieux, and he did look good, I want to see him do that against someone else. Let me see you against Plant. Let me see you against even a guy like what's my boy's name, Demetrius Andrade. Let me see you do that against a guy like that, and then we can have a different conversation as to where he fits.
Yeah,
with Benavidez, as I said to Rare Breed earlier, Benavidez is a good 168 pounder because of his size. I don't know how people think Plant will beat Benavidez, for being honest. I think Benavidez destroys him. Plant, he hasn't got the power, he hasn't got the conditioning to actually go a full hard 12 rounds, stuff like that. He's a good 168 pounder. He's a good 168 pounder. But when he goes to 175, I don't think he's going to be as good. I think Bivol beats him. Better be guys like that. But 168, he's good. He's good in that division.
Okay, wait a second. I have to step in there. Plant went 11 rounds with Canelo.
Man,
he went 11.
Right.
He went 11 rounds with. I'm not saying that Benavidez doesn't win, but I think you got to put a little bit more respect on Plant's name. Plant did pretty good against Canelo. He didn't do so bad against Canelo.
Benavidez though is twice the size of Canelo.
Claude, does Benavidez beat Canelo?
I don't think he. That's a good fight. That's a good fight.
But who would you pick?
Right now, I would give it to Canelo. Right now, I would give it to Canelo. But that doesn't mean that Plant does that much worse against Benavidez. You know what I mean? Just because
I think Plant could beat Benavidez. I've said it many times.
I'm pretty sure.
I would agree with him, man.
Andrade could box the ears off.
Benavidez. He allowed boxing.
Why do y'all think?
Start giving Benavidez credit?
Hey? Listen, that fight
because
is probably
Michael. I know you're a Benavidez fan, but I just don't rate. I don't rate his boxing skills that highly. I just think that he's got fast hands. He's got very slow feet. Defensively, very poor, and it's all right looking good against guys that he's fighting against. But I think when he comes up against an Andrade, when he comes up against a Plant that are technically sound, that are fast, that got good feet, you're going to see this guy swinging at fresh air. I'm telling you, you're going to see this guy swinging at fresh air. And then you're going to understand what I'm trying to say. He's not very good. He's big and strong and he's got fast hands. Yes, if he gets a hold of you, you're in trouble. But technically, I'm going off.
Stop on Friday, Imran. He's going to stop on Friday if they fight. Trust me.
Yeah, I think
let me tell you this, Michael. Let me tell you this. If okay, he may stop Andrade. There's a possibility, but before that, Andrade will be boxing his ears off. I can tell you that much.
Yeah,
there's no way Benavidez is winning the rounds against Demetrius Andre.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But on the Caleb Plant thing, the reason Caleb Plant did so good against Canelo is because Canelo was doing like a similar version of what he did to Bivol, that shell up, walk down, counter, type of style, to where he just let Caleb Plant just run around, the whole fight, until he gassed himself out. And then once he started getting stuck on the ropes, Canelo got him out of there. That's the same thing that Canelo, he tried to do with Kovalev. Like, that's the only reason, Plant made it that long.
D-Money, you made a good point. D-Money, you made a good point that you want to see Canelo go back to the Danny Jacobs Canelo.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like that Canelo, that Caleb Plant would have been out in 6. Like, I can't see him getting past 6 rounds. Like, Canelo, just like I said, he just let Caleb Plant run from him all night. He was just from start, to finish. And then once he got tired, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was it. So I don't really rate Plant off of that. Off of that fight, all he showed me was that even when he was able to hit Canelo, it might as well have been, me hitting Canelo, because it was.
Yeah, but the scoring punches. You don't. As long as you're scoring punch, like when Mayweather fought Canelo, he wasn't looking to knock him out. He was just looking to score. That's all he has to do. Yeah. It doesn't matter if how much it really hurts him. Or you just score, and then you know what? At the end of 12 rounds, you outboxed him, right?
Yeah. So, but once Canelo turned it on though, and he said, "All right, it's time to get you out of here," and he picked up that pressure like he does, at like the championship rounds and to the end of the rounds. Once he picks it up and tries to put it on you, and doesn't let you get away, and now you're tired because you've been running from him all night, you're done. So I think.
Okay, but do you think? So you're telling me you think Benavidez has that? You think he has that gear, and you think he can apply that to Plant after? Plant is going to be a different fighter. After getting in the ring with a guy like Canelo, you're going to be a different fighter. You're going to have so much more experience. That applied to David Benavidez, it's going to be and I'm not saying Benavidez doesn't win, but give me a break. It's not going to be a walkthrough for Benavidez at all. I have to side with Imran, where it's going to be a tough fight, where I think it's a coin flip. It's a 50-50. It's who brings it that day and who executes their game plan the best that night.
Yeah, I feel it. No, I see what you're saying. I just don't think it's going to be that. I don't think it's going to be that close. I don't think it's going to be a walkthrough. It's not going to be a Lemieux situation, but it's not going to be, Richards and a Watsy situation either. Like, it's not going to be.
So you have Benavidez winning that.
He's gonna. Benavidez he can cut off the ring and walk Caleb Plant down. Like, what is he gonna do? Run? Caleb Plant's just gonna run away from Benavidez all night.
Outbox him. That's what I think. He's gonna outrun him and box him.
I think Benavidez is right. There's no way in hell Plant has got the conditioning to actually outbox a guy like Benavidez for a whole 12 rounds. He always fades after 6 rounds.
That's the thing. But then size comes into it. That's what I'm saying. So that means Benavidez ain't a better boxer than Plant, then, right? It's
no.
Size and strength.
Yeah. That's it.
That's what I'm saying. So this is the point I'm trying to make. That so then you agree with me that these guys would box the ears of Benavidez. It's just that Benavidez would eventually catch up with him because he's bigger and he's got the physical advantages on his side. But they're better boxers than him. So
yeah, that's what I've been saying. He's a good 168 pounder, but when he goes up to his actual weight, 175, he gets beat. That's what I've been saying the whole time.
So that means he's not that good then, Makai. That means
he's good at 168. That's what Makai. And I agree with you, Makai. What you're saying is facts. Like, he's good at 168 because of that power and his size, and his speed of his hands, Imran. But I see what you're saying, Imran. But the thing is, though, everything you're saying is true, but it's more. It would only apply to him going to 175. I think he gets worked at 175. I think that would not be a good idea. But at
that's why he's not going there. That's why he's not going there. He doesn't want that. Right. He doesn't want that smoke.
But 168,
weight bully. He's effectively a weight bully.
Right. So, but at 168 though, that weight bully is gonna win. Like, he's gonna. I feel like at 168, out of all the dudes, maybe you could say David Morrell but other than him, I think with Canelo, man, because Canelo's style is to march forward. So it's basically like two trains just running into each other. If him and Benavidez,
experience. Canelo has too much experience for Benavidez. He has too much experience. He's
had too much
gonna
experience
work.
with Devo too. That's what I heard.
Personally, I'd rather see the Benavidez fight Charlo. I think that's a good fight. That's the fight I want.
I don't want to see that, man. Charlo would get knocked out.
Well, you don't see it being competitive at first. Honestly, D Money, I think Benavidez wins, but I think that's actually quite a good fight, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good fight. I don't want to see Charlo's a 160 pounder. Why do people keep calling for a 160 pounder to go up and fight the best 168? Like that's the fight that needs to happen next.
Charlo did call him out though.
Well, because he said he was going to do it, bro. That's why. Charlo said he was going to do it. He was going to break Benavidez's neck. So if you're going to talk like that, you got to move up. That's why people want to see that fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Charlo. He was literally calling him out, talking crap, and then Benavidez accepted it. That's why people want to see that fight. And anyway, I think Charlo, he's not. It's not like he's getting Golovkin anytime soon because Golovkin's fighting Canelo and obviously Andrade. I think he's saying at 168 now. Obviously, we got Janabek coming up. I mean, Charlo, he's literally killing himself. What did you say?
Yeah. The Janabek guy. What do y'all think about him?
Oh man, I'm a big fan of him.
Boy.
Yes, exactly. D Money knows. I like Janabek. I'm a fan of him. I think he's going to do big things in the middleweight division. I hope him and Andrade fight next. He got the interim belt yesterday, so he should be in line. If Andrade vacates, then he'll probably fight someone like Munguia for it.
What's going on with Andrade? What's going on with Andrade, man?
Honestly, man, I don't know. I have no idea.
What a disappointment! I'm
surgery, right?
But I'm disappointed. Sorry, go ahead.
Go on, Claude.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Claude.
No, I was just saying I'm disappointed. Like I like Andrade. Like he's the guy who doesn't get the chance, so I'm on his side. But he's got to start making moves. Like,
but he's injured though. Injured, you can't really
I don't blame him. But he's got what's your next plan, bro? What's your plan? You're injured. Okay, I'm gonna come back from injury, and this is my plan. You got to start putting your name out there a little bit more. This is what I want to do when I come back. We don't know what he's gonna do. Is he gonna do something about the Zach Parker situation? Does he still have the belt at 160, or did he totally vacate that?
No, he's got the belt.
Okay, so then you know what? Put it out there that you want to go against Triple G. Do something. Say something. But this is why he never gets the big fights, because he goes up into obscurity. Like he gets the injury and then you don't hear what's going on. So he drops from everyone's mind. And then everyone says, well, he's never fought anyone and he doesn't do anything because of situations like this. I'm not mad at him for the injury. Injuries happen. But you have to create some buzz for yourself. And he's not good at doing that, man. So, I mean, I want him to do something and I hope he does. But I don't know, man. Kind of disappointed that he didn't get the fight. But that the fight didn't go through. But now what next? Say something.
Last I heard, he was going up to 168. Obviously to become a mandatory, and he was calling out Benavidez, and Benavidez's manager has said that they would basically try to price himself out, like they would need over $10 million or something like that to fight Andrade. But then David Benavidez came out in an interview, was like, nah, it's not true. Like I would love to fight Andrade. Like, let's make that happen. If he comes up, let's do it. So I think that's what Andrade wants to do. He got hurt, and they were making him fight Zach Parker. But I think that's what he wants to do. And I agree with you, Claude. I
agree with what you're saying, and that was the whole thing, right? Andrade was supposed to fight and beat Zach Parker, and then this fight that happened with Lemieux and David Benavidez was supposed to happen, and then they were supposed to line up for a big fight, right?
Right.
Okay, well then. Say something, Andrade. Does anyone know what's happening with him? Has he said anything? Has his camp said anything that he wants to, postpone the fight until September, or when he gets better? Or is he I don't know. But I want that guy to do something because he deserves a big fight. But I don't think he's doing himself any favors.
Yeah,
it may be a chance where he might be past his best. 35. We don't know what he's got left.
Yep.
Now he's injured
Yep.
as well. Shoulders popped out or whatever as well. So we don't know now. We don't know with Andrade. It might be it. You know, he's old now as well. He's not young.
I have to agree with you, Imran. You know, when I first started listening to your channel, I think, you know, maybe about a year, maybe a year, something like that, maybe.
Mm.
In any case, my point is, I think right at that time, you know, was when he needed a real big fight. You know, when the Liam Williams, when he was fighting, right after those fights, right after, actually, right in between there was a sweet spot where he was on the lips of people. People knew he was undefeated. He had a little bit of buzz going on. He never really caught it and rode it to anything substantial. It just kind of went up and then it kind of faded out to nothing.
But Claude, should we give him a break though, Claude? Sorry to cut you off, but should we give him a break? Because, you know, this is boxing. You know, you can't just fight whoever you want to fight. Like, if it was up to Andrade, let him tell it and let Eddie Hearn tell it, he would have fought Triple G, Canelo. He would have fought anybody and everybody, Charlo. You know, but he can't get the other champions or the other people that's rated in the division to fight him, you know, because he's awkward and whatever else, you know what I'm saying? So can we, you know, he's not completely not to blame, but I don't know. I feel like, are you being a little tough on him?
I give him all the breaks in the world. I give that guy all the breaks in the world. I'm not talking about who he wasn't able to fight and who he wasn't able to fight. I'm talking about the buzz that he creates around himself or the lack of. That's what I'm talking about. If you want to get big fights, you got to be the guy at the tip of everyone's tongue. And he doesn't create that buzz to be that guy.
Hey,
that's what I've noticed.
What's
and
his
so
name?
no one takes him seriously enough to give him the break that he wants.
Who's that?
He's not at the tip of everyone's tongue like Charlo. Charlo's at the tip of everyone's tongue. He's out there. He has a big, you know, big personality. Andrade needs a little bit of that. Unfortunately, the sport, this is a sport that not only your talent, but also kind of your swag and your bravado and all that kind of is included in the package.
That only depends on the fighting style you have. If you're not an exciting dude that's knocking people out, yeah, you need a personality. Like, for example, look at Tank Davis. Would you say he has a bubbling personality?
Yeah, or better be
or even like Crawford, even my guy Jaron Ennis. Like if you're not an exciting fighter, you better have something like that can make up for it. Who's that dude with the afro that just got knocked out by you know, Blair Cobbs? He basically made people care about his fight with that Mexican dude. I forgot his name. Rocha, yeah. People didn't give a fuck about that fight until he started talking about, oh, I'm calling out Earl Spence. He hasn't fought nobody. Jaron Ennis is a bum. Like
he was no good.
Yeah,
though.
he made people care about his fight. So that's what you're saying about Andrade needs to do?
Yeah. That's basically what I'm saying. He has to do a little bit better job of calling people out, making a name for himself and stuff like that. Or he just
tried
big fights.
He tried with Canelo, and then Canelo said, "Oh, you're a horrible fighter. You fight with nobody. Payday. That shit was funny.
But you know what? You know that went viral. That went viral. That made Andre the biggest big star, really.
Yeah, it did. But again, it didn't lead to anything. So he got known for that, but he wasn't able to ride it into something, turn that into something. He's a slick fighter. Like, he's a real good fighter. I want to see him against someone real good. Win or lose. I don't care if he wins or he loses. I just want to know how good he is. And like you said, Imran, he's at a point in his career, 35 years old, coming off of an injury. I don't think we'll get to see the best of him when he does go against a Benavidez or he does go against Golovkin's 40 himself. But, I mean, like you said, their styles are a little bit different. So Golovkin can be really good at 40. Whereas
Golovkin, even at 40, is a problem for Andrade, though, right?
Oh, big time.
But like you said, but I feel like he'll give him trouble. I've never seen Triple G fight a guy with like elite footwork or like what's this slick? Has he ever fought a slick boxer type?
No, not really.
Exactly. So like, I feel like he probably gives Triple G some trouble.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
He definitely will. But my
yeah,
point is,
yeah.
but my point is, you have to be
Can
fast,
he
right?
can he
Yeah.
sustain it? That's the problem. 'Cause
True. Yeah, that's
I
the
think
problem. He does gas out.
ain't stopping Triple G.
He has to
He was
outbox him.
gassed out.
Yeah,
Hey,
I think that he's gotten older at 160. It's getting harder for him to maintain, and I feel
who?
like that's part of it too.
Andrade or Golovkin?
Andre,
So you're saying it's harder for Andrade to make the weight?
yeah, I think
Oh,
weight is giving him a problem at once. I think I
that's a
heard
good
that
fight.
during the Liam Williams
That's a
fight.
good fight.
He had said he was like it was hard for me to make weight, and yeah, so I think that's part of it too. Part of his
Referee,
condition.
that's a wicked fight. Golovkin and Andrade, because they're both old. Okay, Golovkin's obviously older and he's a bit more battle worn and stuff, but that's a good fight. That because literally you could make a case for both guys winning. Really.
I
Yeah.
agree with you, Imran. I think that's a fight that has to be made. That probably should have been made before. That for
Yeah.
whatever reason, it doesn't get made. And I feel bad for Andrade, because, like you always say in your videos, he relies on a lot of his his slickness, his movement, his speed, and that's going away, and it's going away real quick.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have to spend some time doing recovery, and he's gonna find that he's probably gonna lose a step. And then he gets in the ring with Golovkin, where he's gonna need every single shred of that speed to basically outbox this guy for 12 rounds. And if it's not there, his big moment, it's dead, right? So I don't know. Guys, I gotta run because I gotta run. But it's been a pleasure, Imran. I love being on the channel, guys. You guys take care. I'll still be listening. Take care. Peace.
Cheers. See you. Yeah, guys,
Yep.
man.
That fight's not even worth talking about. That's never gonna happen.
Which one?
Triple G and Andrade.
Yeah, no, he's got to take care of Janabek.
That's not gonna happen either, because
It's
damn
Triple
well
G.
that's too dangerous.
Yeah, is he gonna fight Janabek? Because Janabek's gonna get a belt, right?
Janabek,
Yeah, what's the
he's got the interim belt, so he's next in line for Andre. That fight should be next.
Well, yeah, Andre's moving up.
You gonna have to drag Andrade into the ring for that fight to happen.
Yeah, and I think Eddie Hearn said that's not going. Well, he's done with Eddie Hearn, but
I don't blame him. I'm not fighting some. Well, he's not really young, but I'm not fighting a dangerous unknown guy that more than likely probably beat me for no payday.
Do you guys know who? Right, guess who is fighting for the vacant IBF belt at middleweight if Golovkin moves up and fights Canelo? Do you guys know? Michael Zarafa, the Australian guy, and he'll be fighting someone called Falcao. Yeah, that'll be that. Those two will be fighting for the vacant belt. That's how bad it is. Michael Zarafa. Have you guys watched him fight or anything?
Yeah, he fought Kel.
Yeah, but he kind of got bad. But yeah, man, I don't know how he's actually getting a shot. Like, yeah, that's the state of the middleweight division there for you.
Yep. Munguia what about Munguia? He hasn't really fought nobody. He's a young guy. He should fight.
Munguia is probably the most protected fighter I know. I mean, right. He